Michael Gilbert, a local attorney. What you're about to watch is jury review. Jury review is usually held a few days before jury selection and is the last opportunity for the court to determine which cases will be tried in the following week. And it's also the last opportunity for defense and the state to possibly come to an arrangement to where trial can be avoided and a plea bargain arranged. It's also the last opportunity where state may choose to drop or change some of the charges. Also
Mr. Harper has said it was okay for me to do one out of order for reasons I won't go into. Your Honor, may I approach with an agreement for Candace Janice Burwanger? Ms. Burwanger is 23 CF 1320.
Okay.
And she is on the docket at 236. And I'm approaching with a signed plea and sentence agreement. There is no score sheet because it's a misdemeanor deal.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, under this agreement, Ms. Burwanger is changing her plea to no contest. There will be an adjudication of guilt to lesser included offense, possession of drug paraphernalia, first-degree misdemeanor, and the statutory reference is given. Be 11 months, 29 days probation. We struck through the language about supervised by JCS because she knows she has to report initially in Fort Walton Beach to probation, but she lives in Walton County, so we anticipate state probation will allow her to be supervised in Walton County, and it's probably just easier to transfer with state probation.
Very good.
270 court costs, 150 PD fees, substance abuse evaluation within 30 days with any recommended treatment to commence within 60 days, random urinalysis, 24 hours community service, maintain gainful employment or complete 2 job applications per week.
And this is an adjudication, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
State agreement?
Yes, this is a state's agreement.
Very good. Ms. Burwanger, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
So, ma'am, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. I see those same terms are in the written plea agreement that you've signed.
Yes, sir.
First question, did you read this closely? And did you go over it in detail with your attorney?
Yes, I did.
Understand you're waiving the right to go to a trial. This is a final adjudication. You believe this is in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
You've had all your questions answered regarding this plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement. There'll be an adjudication of guilt to the lesser included offense, misdemeanor possession of paraphernalia, and the court will sentence you to 11 months, 29 days probation, fees and costs, substance abuse evaluation, community service, et cetera, all the other conditions of probation that are contained in the plea agreement. Any questions?
Your Honor, I had one on her behalf. Her ride from Walton County has to pick up children from a bus stop at 2:40. Can she report by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning at 13 Kelly Avenue in Fort Walton Beach for probation?
I don't have a problem with that. That's
Okay.
fine.
Thank you so much.
She'll get back by 8 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay. Do I need to see
And they're
anybody?
gonna give you a handout of where to go. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much.
I'm ready. Mr. Harper, come on.
I can start with William Adams, he's number 129 on the
Okay.
docket.
Very good.
Mr. Adams,
William Adams?
Judge, he was present this morning.
There's still people making their way to the courtroom from outside.
You want to just pass over and see if we can round them up later?
Yes, sir. The next one is Stephen Arnold. There's a waiver of appearance in his case, Judge. We've got depositions, I believe, scheduled in January. I would ask for a one-cycle continuance.
So the depots are scheduled for January.
I believe so, Judge. Yes, sir.
We'll continue until 2/14, excuse me, 2/12.
If there was a waiver on the clock,
Is there a warrant or something?
it's an order of open file.
And command arrest. You should show it to them.
Yeah, Judge, I'll reach out to Mr. Arnold and see if we can come to a resolution. Does the court want to put this on docket day so we have a shorter time?
You're talking about for Mr. Arnold?
Yes, Judge. I do have depositions, but in light of that, I don't know if the court wants to.
Okay, if you want to come back on docket day, if you think there's any chance for a plea or continue, that's fine.
Okay.
So the 12/18, plea or continue.
And I apologize, Judge, I didn't announce the case. It's 23 CF 1068.
Very good, thank you.
The next one I have, Judge, is Diamond Atkinson. She is present and approaching before the court on 23 CF 932. Judge, Ms. Atkinson is almost completed her DCF case plan. I think she's got a couple parenting classes left. By all accounts, she's done well with respect to that. I believe it's the position of both ourselves and the state that once she successfully completed that, we will come to a resolution. I'm asking for one last continuance.
Without objection, Your Honor, it is important to the state to see how Ms. Atkinson does with the case plan.
So we'll come back on February 12th, 9 a.m., and continue to work hard on that. That's important, obviously. Okay. Thank you very much.
The next one, Judge, is Desmond Bankston before the court on 23 CF 1287 and 23 CF 1288. He is present. Judge, the state's advised me that they have some discovery. We spoke about it last week. I need to review that with my client just so that I can watch it with him. So I would ask to continue this one cycle.
Very good. The court will continue this till February 12th. This is a relatively new case. Okay, stay in touch with your attorney, Counsel. Yes, sir. Thanks.
The next one, Judge, is Joshua Biglin, 23 CF 1005. Judge, he was here this morning. He was recently released from the hospital. He had been in the hospital for, I believe, the last 2 court dates. It had been my intent to continue this so that I can speak with him because I have not had the opportunity. I believe he's been sedated the entire time. So I'd ask for a continuance, Judge.
Court will continue until 2/12.
But he was here this morning. He had a walker. The next one is Timothy Blankenship before the court on 23 CF 2351. Judge, there is a waiver of appearance in Mr. Blankenship's case. He's provided me with some documentation that I think we might be able to resolve this if I show that to the state. I would ask to set this for docket day. Please continue.
State?
That's fine.
Very good. We'll continue this till docket day on the 18th of November, 18th of December at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge. The next one is Trevion Braxton. He's before the court on 22 CF 739, 22 CF 2943, and 23 CF 126. Judge, we have some depositions that need to be done on the newest charge. There's some co-defendants in this case, so we need to schedule all of that together. I'd ask to continue this to the next cycle.
You're trying to run all these together.
Yes, sir.
We'll continue until 2/12 based on the new case. It's being relatively new, although it's proceeding to a year. So do you anticipate this being the last round of?
Yes, sir. I think that what happened is that Mr. Braxton was in the custody of DJJ for an extended period of time. And then once he got direct file in these cases, they got transferred to me. But the last continuance, that's fine, Judge.
Okay, very good.
The next case is Noah Brennan, 22 CF 2974. Mr. Brennan is present. Judge, I'm going to ask to leave this set for docket day. Clear, continue to see if the state can reach out to the victim. This is a somewhat older case, but I'm hopeful that the victim in this matter, there's been no contact between the parties, and if she's not wanting to press charges, we might be able to pursue forward with a resolution, Judge.
State.
I will reach out to him for
Okay, court will continue this till next Monday, docket day, 12/18 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The next case, Judge, is Justin Brown, 23 CF 2207. Judge, we were recently appointed in this case, and we moved to withdraw. Mr. Brown unfortunately got caught in that transition. He's actually in Texas. He had contacted my office after we withdrew about doing a waiver or filing to appear by Zoom. What I would ask the court in that he has reached out to me if the court would waive his appearance for today and ask to continue this just so that he can be appointed substitute counsel.
Do we need to go ahead and appoint substitute counsel?
Yes, Judge. I think that Mr. Weinstock was appointed in a misdemeanor case for which I also withdrew. And I think in our proposed order, we mentioned Mr. Weinstock as well, so that he.
You say he's been appointed in another case?
In the misdemeanor case, Judge, that I also represent Mr.
Did you see the next attorney, or do you want to just?
Well, I just want to make sure Mr. Weinstock is he on my list?
He's not.
Then I can't form. Right?
I apologize, Judge.
That's all right.
I was trying to make it more
Well,
efficient.
no, I think it would be. And if I had the authority to override it, I would, but I think if I appoint him,
Yes, sir.
maybe I'll get paid, so I don't want to jerk him. So who would be next on my list?
Next is Tricia Graham.
So
Okay.
Ms. Graham.
And
Well, I will continue until the 23rd. And put Ms. Graham and somebody's got, do we have an address for him?
no, Judge, but I can reach out to Ms. Graham and provide the phone number that we have in our database, since he does reside out of state.
Okay.
And just for clarification, Judge, what court date are we putting that on?
Let's go ahead and put it on for next February.
Next February, okay.
Next
Yes, sir.
retrial, February 12th.
The next case, Judge, is Vera Carroll, 23 CF 299. There's a waiver of appearance in this case. Judge, she also resides out of state. State advised me that FDLE just came back on that case, which has complicated our efforts to come to a resolution. We're hoping to do something that wouldn't require her to come back, but based on that FDLE lab result, I don't think we're going to be able to resolve it without her being present. So I would ask to move this to 212 with the understanding this is the last continuance, and it will be either a plea or a trial that cycle.
Very good. We'll continue till 2/12. Is the state okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor, this is fine.
That's the last one.
Judge, next is Marcus Clark. He's before the court on 23 CF 661. There's a waiver of appearance in his case. We have depositions scheduled in, I believe, in January, so I'd ask to continue this one cycle.
Yeah, state,
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
will continue until 2/12, 9
The next one is Tremont Coward. He is present and approaching. He's before the court on 20 CF 2490, 20 CF 2999, and 23 CF 52. Judge, we did some depositions in this case. During that deposition, the officer advised that there was a cell phone download, which was not in possession of myself nor the state. She is in the process of giving that to the prosecutor's office. I don't know if they've
We
received it
haven't
yet.
received it yet.
But we anticipate that's going to be incoming, because the issue is whether or not there's evidence to substantiate that he was present in the vehicle. Cell phone download would answer that particular question, Judge. So I'd ask to continue this so we can get that discovery.
Okay. The court will continue this until 2/12, 9.
The next one is Stacy Crowley, 22 CF 656. Judge, there's a waiver in this case. May we approach on this matter?
You may.
Congratulations, Crestviews' very own Dixie Dan Powell of Powell Injury Law, for your recent jury verdict of $11.5 million for your client from a death and injury against an inflatable amusement company. Recognized in 2017 as one of the top 100 civil trial lawyers in the state of Florida, and Dixie is AV preeminent rated. Dixie Dan Powell works tirelessly for his clients, as is evident by this extraordinary verdict. If you're taking your case to trial, be prepared. Contact Dixie Dan Powell and Powell Injury Law, 850-306-2667.
Cyclone Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestviews historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., 'm, serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
5 Chrome Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestviews historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview.
So we'll continue this till 12:18 at 9 a.m.
Judge, this is, if I can call Mr. Adams. He was the first one on the docket. I just saw him approach. William Adams.
Okay?
That is number 129 on the docket, 22 CF 3033. Judge, last court date, we had announced last continuance. We had actually left this set for trial. We became aware of a witness that was potentially exculpatory. We did not find out the address. We were unable to locate this particular victim. I do have the victim now, and I have their address, and I believe that we've requested a deposition date. I don't have a firm date on that yet, but we've requested depo of this particular victim. But for that depo, that outstanding deposition, there's nothing else remaining to do on this case, Judge. So I'm asking one last continuance.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, we do need to replace this witness. It's on victim, I believe it's an additional witness. We do need to replace this person's.
Okay, so we'll continue this until 2:12. 9 a.m. Stay in touch with your attorney.
Last one. Yes, sir. I apologize for going out of order. The next one, Judge, is Vince Dennis, number 142 on the docket. There's a waiver of appearance in that case. Judge, I represent Mr. Dennis on a number of cases with the same particular victim. We're asking to do that victim's deposition, and I would ask to set this for 2/12 to get that done.
Very good. This is a relatively new case. We'll continue until 2:12, 9 a.m.
The next case, Judge, is Jonathan Dodson. He is present and approaching. Judge, if we can leave this set for plea or continue, Mr. Dodson advised that he has some information that I think might be exculpatory to one of the particular charges. I'm hoping we can resolve it this cycle. If we can bring him back on Monday, I believe he has an appointment with me this week, so that we can discuss this and then hopefully resolve this on Monday.
Very good. We'll come back on 12:18, 9 a.m. for plea or continue.
Okay, see you then. The next case, Judge, is Sherry Dorgan, 22 CF 2280. There's a waiver of appearance in this case. Judge, if we can bring this back on plea or continue on Monday, Judge, there's still some cell phone records that I have received from my client. I'm in the process of going through all of that and trying to get what I can to the state. And I would ask for one last continuance. I think this might have been the last continuance announced last cycle, but I have not gone through all the cell phone records at this point, Judge.
So you say you want to come back on docket day or full cycle?
We can try to come back clear continue just to see, make sure I get them, because I did follow up and ask if he was able to provide me with any. I haven't gotten any yet. I do need time to look through them once I get them. But we can just leave it on docket day so we keep our hands on it, make sure I get them.
Okay, so we'll continue that and we'll just kind of see where we're going.
Thank you, Judge. So 1218 on that case.
Correct.
The next case is Joanne Faulkner. Ms. Faulkner is present and approaching before the court on 23 CF 2067. Your Honor, may we approach on this case?
You may.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
Until 2:12 at 9 a.m. for the next pre-trial. Please stay in touch with your attorney.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next case is Candace Felton. Candace Felton is before the court on 23 CF 1688. This is another case where I need to approach.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briarpatch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
For more than 70 years, the sweet aroma of the Crestview Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs has permeated the downtown area. If you have not experienced the unique flavor of Crestview's Coney Islands burgers and hot dogs, then I encourage you to join us for lunch. Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m., Friday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. We're located in historic downtown Crestview at 107 North Main Street.
On the sidebar discussion, the court will continue this matter until 2/12 at 9 a.m. The next pretrial cycle.
The next case is Trevon Fitzgerald before the court on 23 CF 560 and 23 CF 611. Judge, there's a waiver of appearance in Mr. Fitzgerald's case. I would ask to continue this. We need to do depositions in this matter. There's some issues pertaining to the DNA that we just need to get depots done.
Are the depots scheduled?
I honestly don't recall, Judge, if these particular depots are. I know I have a number of depots that are scheduled in January, but I don't know if this is included in there, Judge. But if the court wants me to leave this set for plea or continue to confirm that the depositions are set, we can do that. I'm fine with that.
No, no, as long as you all are, tell me, you know, we're either have them in January or getting them done as expeditiously as possible. I
Yes, sir.
trust you guys. Okay, so we'll continue this until 2/12.
Okay. The next one, Judge, is Mr. Fawnville, 23 CF 2231. There is also a waiver of appearance in Mr. Fawnville's case. With respect to Mr. Fawnville, this is a relatively new case. He is out of state. I'm going to ask to set this for February the 12th. I'll be doing depositions. There are a number of co-defendants in this particular counterfeiting ring.
This is a new case. The court will continue for a full cycle to 2/12 and 9 a.m.
Judge, the next case is Dennis Foster. He's before the court on 22 CF 813, 22 CF 2087. Mr. Foster is present and approaching. Judge, this is a case that we would have left set for trial. The state and I have been talking about this particular case. I believe that there's an issue with respect to availability of the witnesses. But for that reason, we would leave this set for plea or trial this cycle. But because of that issue, we're going to ask to continue this to the February 12th dockets, and that will be the last continuance. It'll be a plea or a trial that cycle.
That's correct, Judge. I reached out to my witnesses and found out that I was not going to have witness availability, and there were key witnesses that I needed to prove my case. I reached out to Mr. Harper when I found that out, and we discussed. So I'd like to leave this set for the February 12th pretrial, knowing that that is the absolute last continuance and that this is hard set for trial in February.
Very good. The court will continue this matter until 2/12 at 9 a.m. And please have the minutes reflect this is the absolute last.
This will be the last one, Judge.
Last one. Okay. Thank you very much.
The next case, Judge, is Robin Grantham, 23 CF 928 and 23 CF 1073. Ms. Grantham is present and approaching. May we approach on this case?
I don't think we need to approach on this case. Mr. Harper and I both spoke about this ahead of time, and I think that we were both stipulating to a continuance.
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. We'll continue this matter until 2/12.
Your Honor, the next case is Wendy Green. She is present and approaching before the court on 23 CF 1997. Judge, this is the first time up, but I need to meet with Ms. Green to see if we can resolve this cycle. What I'd like to do is, if we can leave this set for plea or continue, given the nature of these charges, on 12/18, I'm hoping we can resolve this cycle.
Very good. The court will continue this until next Monday, 12/18 at 9 a.m. for docket day.
Thank you, Judge. The next case, Judge, is Clyde Griffin, 23 CF 700. Mr. Griffin is present and approaching. Your Honor, I think we reached out to the state about if we can leave this up for plea or continue. He completed a pretrial program. I think I emailed you about that issue. If we can leave this up for docket day to see if we can talk about whether or not that's potentially a diversion issue. I think whether or not he successfully completed it may qualify for diversion, but it might not, and I think we just need to know if we can do that.
No objection if you want to set it plea continue.
Okay, we can continue until docket day.
Next Monday.
A little clarification. 12/18 at 9 a.m.
Judge, the next one is Lacey Hammett, 23 CF 1072. She is present. Judge, this is a case the state and I have talked. I believe that PTI is a proposed resolution. I think my client is proposed to accept that. We just need the terms. If we can bring her back on 12/18, I think this will close out then.
Very good. The court will continue this till docket day for hopefully a potential plea. 12/18, next Monday at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Judge, the next case is Jeremy Hargis. He is before the court on 23 CF 1575. Judge, I have called for Mr. Hargis. He is not present. I didn't see him this morning either. Full disclosure, this is a case that, based on some additional discovery provided by the state on the co-defendant, it created a conflict for me. I believe I approached and addressed that with the court. It had been my intention to withdraw off of this particular case, but in that he's not here and he's not present.
State, unless a waiver filed.
No, Judge. There is no waiver on Mr. Hargis that I'm aware of.
Looks like on 10/11, the court sent him notice that he was supposed to be here on December 11th. And I don't see anything that's been returned.
What is the state requesting?
The KPS, Your Honor.
Court will issue a KPS without bond for failure to appear.
The next case, Judge, is Pamela Hanson, 23 CF 818. There's a waiver of appearance in her case. We have depositions in January. This will be the last relevant set of depositions. We will be ready for a plea or trial next cycle. And so I'm fine with announcing last continuance.
Did you say Henson?
Henson.
That's my understanding too. I think we had a deposition set in this case.
January,
Correct.
Very good. So court will issue a last continuance to 2/12 at 9 a.m. February 12th.
The next case that I have, Judge, is Joshua Huerta, 23 CF 1503. Mr. Huerta is a active duty Air Force member. He is in the process of getting his driver's license issue resolved. We've been continuing it to facilitate that. He has made progress. He was just, last week he contacted me and said he had the emergency PCS somewhere for, I don't know how long that will take, but he's still working on it. I believe the state's okay with one continuance.
Where is he stationed?
He is stationed in Eglin, but it was a temporary, like a TDY kind of thing, Judge.
So you just want to continue until 2/12?
Yes, sir. Once he gets his license back, we intend to enter a plea at that time.
Okay. So we'll come back at on 2/12, 9 a.m.
The next case I have, Judge, is Chantel Johnson. There's a waiver of appearance in her case. She's before the court on 23 CF 1810, 23 CF 1863. Judge, there are some depositions that need to occur in this case. I would ask to continue this to 212.
This is a relatively recent case. This may be the first time, so state, any objection?
No objection.
Without objection, the court will continue until 212.
Next judge is Jeremy Knox. There's a waiver of appearance in his case as well, 22 CF 47. Judge, there is depositions in this matter scheduled for January. This will be the last set of depositions. I'm ready to announce plea or trial next cycle.
We'll continue until 212. And it'll be noted, it'll be the last continuance.
Next one I have, Judges Angelica Starkweather. There's a waiver of appearance in her case as well. She's got 23 CF 19, 23 CF 533, 23 CF 587, and 23 CF 944. Judge, we have continued this in the past because she was in an inpatient treatment program. I believe she's about to terminate that program successfully. She's anticipating joining the program as a member, employee. I anticipate we'll resolve this next cycle with a plea or trial.
You just want to come to the full cycle?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, no objection.
Without objection, the court will continue this till 212 for hopefully a plea.
The next case I have, Judge, is Jonathan Wallace. Jonathan Wallace. Judge, Mr. Wallace was present this morning, 23 CF 1219. It had been my intention to leave this set for plea or continue. I advised him that it was my intention to do that. I was hoping that we could resolve this with a plea. Jonathan Wallace. He is not present at the moment, Judge, but he was present this morning.
And you anticipate?
He's got an appointment with me this Friday, Judge, and we're going to go over the details of the plea agreement.
He will come back to docket date?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll continue this till docket date.
The next case, 1218. The next case I have is Armin Waters, 23 CF 1101. Your Honor, Mr. Waters contacted my office this morning advising that he's got COVID and he would not be in court today and that he would be providing proof. As of lunchtime, I don't have the proof, but that's why he's not present here today, Judge.
Okay, we'll just provide that to the state. You wish to do a full cycle?
Are you okay with full cycle or?
If the state does not have, doesn't receive adequate proof of COVID, you can address it at the next hearing.
So 212 on that, Judge, and I'll be providing the proof of COVID as soon as I receive it, Judge.
Very good.
The next case is Travis Wingo, 23 CF 943. Mr. Wingo is present and approaching. Judge, on Mr. Wingo's case, this is getting a little bit old. I would ask to continue this one last time. We need to do the depo of the officer in this case because it's a rather unusual fleeing and eluding case because it was at it was a very slow fleeing and eluding. And so I'd like to do the depo, but I'm fine with announcing last continuance for trial or plea next cycle.
State?
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll continue this till 212 and make a note on the minutes that this will be the last continuance.
The next one, Judge, is Kelly Young. Kelly Young. Judge, I have not had any contact with Ms. Young. I didn't see her this morning either.
Has she provided notice?
I'm not certain, Judge. Sorry, sir, I'm trying to pull it up.
There is a waiver. There is.
Can we set this for the next pretrial conference, Judge?
Sure, this is really the first time up anyway, so come back on 2/12, 9.
Thank you. And next is Michael Bryan, 22 CF 655. Ms. Jaquith was handling those. I'm not certain. Did the state spoken, Ms. Jaquith?
We have spoken around. It was Ms. Jaquith's intention to, at first we talked about leaving this set for trial, and then Ms. Jaquith wanted to get that hearing set. If you remember when we had that motion to dismiss, the court was giving Ms. Jaquith time to research an issue and file for a motion for rehearing. Ms. Jaquith hasn't been able to get that scheduled yet. She said that just because she wasn't aware that Ms. Faulkner needed to reach out to Ms. Van Boxtel, but we will do that before
Full cycle
February.
continues.
Yes.
We can set this for 2/12, Judge. I think the issue was whether or not the traverse was filed timely.
That was the issue.
So if it was, do we need to schedule something?
I think that to allow time for Ms. Jaquith to schedule something with your JA, if we can set this for 2/12, it's possible it could be resolved on a miscellaneous court date beforehand, but
Very good. The court will continue this till 2/12.
Judge, I do have one case that's not on the docket. Todd Hunt. Mr. Hunt is present and approaching. He's got 23 CF 576. I'm not certain as to why he's scheduled for this coming Wednesday, but I'm assuming he must have bonded out or something. But
No, they told me to come. I got a piece of paper.
Can I get that clerk number again?
it's 23 CF 576. This is a trafficking case, Judge. On Mr. Hunt's case, I would ask to continue this for depots on that trafficking case.
When was the original arrest date?
I think it was March 10th, 2023, Your Honor.
What's the defense? What are you asking?
I'm asking to continue this for depositions, Judge.
State?
No objection, Your Honor. I can give him a list of deposition dates and we can go ahead and make this a priority.
Okay. Do try and get these scheduled.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
I'm not coming to court.
February 12th.
When's our next date?
February 12th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have this morning.
All right, thank you. So you didn't have any coming back, Mr.? Are those all yours?
Yes, Judge. I'm with you.
Okay, very good. Mr. Medina, are you?
Your Honor, Mr. Gates usually goes, but because my clients heard me discuss it with the court before the break, Mr. Gates is going to allow me to go. That's okay. Aldericio, Joseph Aldericio. I'm calling several plea agreements, Your Honor, and then we'll do some continuances. It will be very quick. Your Honor, Mr. Joseph R. Aldericio is before the court, docket number 223 and 23 CF 1437. And we have a plea and sentence agreement for his case, Your Honor. There is a score sheet that I need to provide. So would you make sure those don't fall off? That's okay. Sorry, I thought I had a score sheet free in my file, Your Honor. I'm approaching with the agreement, Your Honor. It's been signed by all parties in the score sheet.
Thank you.
Your Honor, under this agreement, Mr. Alderisio will change his plea to no contest. There will be a withhold adjudication as charged. There will be 24 months probation. And I added an asterisk there. He just informed me this morning that he has arranged for inpatient treatment. The inpatient treatment is scheduled to begin, is it tomorrow? Yeah. Will be in Hillsborough County. He's going to need to do his intake with probation here, but I do believe that they will be very supportive of him getting this. It's a 60 to 90 day inpatient treatment, 30 to 90 days. It's in Hillsborough County. What is the name of the facility?
River Oaks Treatment Center.
And Your Honor, there will be 11 months, 29 days concurrent probation on the misdemeanor on count 2, substance abuse evaluation within 30 days with any recommended treatment to commence within 60 days. And essentially, Your Honor, if he's doing this inpatient treatment, I do believe that would hopefully cover the substance abuse evaluation and at least a significant portion of the treatment, hopefully. There will be 24 months community service, random urinalysis, maintain gainful employment or complete 2 job applications a week. Defendant, his mother's with him and she lives in Destin, but in the event that for other family reasons it was better for him to be in New Jersey, he wanted to have the ability to go through the interstate compact to seek a transfer to New Jersey. $615 court costs, $150 public defender fees. I do recognize that it's a little bit unusual to have him be checking in here and then getting permission to go do this treatment. I think it's in his best interest. If it was going to be a problem, we could put a court date off into the future for him to take his plea, but I think it's better for him to go ahead and put this behind him and start taking a step forward on his new life.
So, is this stated in agreement?
That is the state's agreement.
Okay. Mr. Alderisio, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth?
Yes, sir.
Nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
You heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. I
Yes,
see
sir.
you've signed the written plea agreement that has those terms. You can put your hand down. So I just want to make sure you understood this and you've had all your questions answered. So did you read this plea agreement closely?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over it in detail with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
You understand by entering this, you're waiving the right to go to a trial, giving us valuable legal rights in order to get a final resolution of this. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Believe it's in your best interest to do so.
Yes, sir, I do.
And you have had all your legal questions answered of your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept your plea agreement. There'll be a withhold of adjudication on both counts, and the court will sentence the defendant to 24 months probation as to count 1, and 11 months, 29 days concurrent probation on count 2. The defendant may attend inpatient treatment as part of his, to apply to the, the probationary terms that are in the plea. You have to commence within 60 days of any recommended treatment, community service hours, gainful employment, these other things that are important. And you also may seek to transfer to New Jersey through the interstate compact. It's not something I can kind of prejudge, but as a general rule, you can get it. You can get it done. It does take some paperwork. I may charge you $100.
No problem.
To get your pocket.
Yes, sir.
So But generally, that'll go through the probation office. But the court certainly is not objecting to it based upon the fact that the defense of the state is not either. So with that, any questions concerning any of that?
No, sir.
So you're adjudicated, withhold of adjudication, 24 months under count 1, 1129 is the core on count 2. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And Your Honor, when he'll do his intake today at state probation at 13 Kelly Avenue, and they'll give you a handout, and you'll need to.
13 Kelly or is it 15?
I thought it's 13.
It's 13?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe it's 13.
Long day.
Yes, Judge. I just wanted to emphasize to him to be in contact because, for instance, when he comes back, they're going to need to have, they need to know where you are, and if you're traveling back from that treatment facility, they need to know that. And when you get back, you'll have to check back in at 13 Kelly Avenue when you get back from the treatment. And then if you're going to be living in, for instance, Crestview, they'll need to approve your residence and so forth, okay?
Yes,
So
sir.
just go over
Make
everything
sure.
with them.
Oh, keeping those lines of communication open with probation is critical.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I will have my cell phone while I'm there. Some
Okay.
issues, so-
That, you'll discuss that with probation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next is,
Hold on a second. Can Ms. Gooden break in?
Please.
whatever the court says, Your Honor.
She said, Ms. Please.
Cheryl Giddens for Frederick Brown, case number 23CF1523. I've lost my client, Your Honor. He had to go to work. He couldn't wait any longer. So may we pass this to the 18th so that we can execute the proper documents and get him to plea out?
So you want to continue till the docket day for a plea?
Correct. I believe that's the Monday, the 18th,
That is
correct?
Correct.
Please.
State okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor, and I will get the PTO agreement to her. It was printed out, just not in time for final.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You can thank Mr. Medina for being so gracious.
My pleasure, Your Honor. Happy holidays, ma'am. Your Honor, next is Olivia C. Anderson. Ms. Anderson is docket number 229, case 23CF1643. And we have a plea and sentence agreement on misdemeanors, Your Honor, so there will not be a score sheet.
Okay.
And it's been
This is Jesse Anderson.
No, Your Honor, this is Olivia
Okay,
Christine Anderson. I think I have at
You've
least
got
three Anderson.
Andersons.
2 or 3, yes,
One
Your
more shot.
Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sorry.
May I approach the agreement?
Follow along.
Make sure that that's full.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Gravity is not working in my favor right now. Thank you.
Would you please announce?
Yes, Your Honor, under this agreement, Ms. Anderson will be pleading no contest with an adjudication of guilt to lesser included offense, possession of drug paraphernalia on count 1 and to count 2 as charged, which was already drug paraphernalia. 11 months, 29 days probation on count 1, followed by a consecutive 11 months, 29 days probation on count 2. Supervision will be by JCS. Substance abuse evaluation within 30 days with any recommended treatment to commence within 60 days. Random urinalysis, 24 hours community service. She does ask for the option to pay it off. She represents to me she has 3 jobs and 3 children, and with the time requirements that she has, it may be in the children's best interest for her to pay it off. I think the normal rate is $10 an hour, whatever the assigned rate is. Maintain gainful employment or complete 2 applications per week, 270 court costs, 150 public defender fees. Thank you.
State?
That's the state's agreement, Your Honor.
An amended information was filed on 12/8.
Okay.
And the 2 counts. Thank you, I didn't have that.
It added a second count of possession of paraphernalia?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's accurate.
Very good. Did the state say they were in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, that is the state's agreement.
Ms. Anderson, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
So, And I see that those same terms are contained in the written plea agreement that you've signed.
Yes, sir.
So have you gone over this in detail with your attorney? Make sure you had all your legal questions answered.
Yes, sir.
Importantly, this is back-to-back, basically 2 years of probation. But by entering into this plea agreement, this final resolution, you're waiving the right to go to a trial and contest all this and fight this. Do you believe this is in your best interest to resolve it in this fashion, because there will be an adjudication on these 2 misdemeanor charges?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement here today, and there'll be an adjudication of guilt as to the lesser included possession of paraphernalia and the additional charge. There's 2 possessions of paraphernalia, and the court is ordering you to be on 11 months, 29 days probation for count 1, and in consecutive, in other words, added on top of it, an additional 11 months, 29 days probation on count 2. So it's a total of basically 2 years.
Yes, sir.
You got to do the substance abuse evaluation and the other details that are contained here, community service, costs, all of that. You do have the option to pay off the community service hours, and with all that hard work you're doing, hopefully it will require some paying attention to this. Sounds like you're a busy gal, trying to do a lot of stuff. You're gonna have to make sure that you put this at the top of your list, because staying in contact is the most important thing on this probate, trust me.
Yes, sir.
Staying in contact, so that they'll work with you if you'll walk halfway, okay?
And Your Honor, she'll need to report with JCS, a bailiff has handed her a card to report this
13
afternoon.
Kelly Drive.
No, it's different, Your Honor,
Oh,
because this is
JCS.
JCS, it's
That's
in
a
that
different-
neighborhood, but
Yeah.
different
Industrial
road.
Street.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next is Stephen G. Arnett. Mr. Arnett is before the court. It's 231 docket 23 CF 1878. And we have a misdemeanor agreement worked out, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you. And he was originally scheduled to waive his court appearance, but we were able to work this case out, so he is in here to do this at this time, Your Honor. It is a misdemeanor deal. May I approach, Your Honor?
Right.
There is no score sheet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you announce the agreement?
Thank you, Your Honor. And this is going to be supervised by JCS, Your Honor. Under this agreement, yes, ma'am, Arnett, Stephen, with a PH. Your Honor, Mr. Arnett will be changing his plea to no contest with a withhold of adjudication to lesser included offense, misdemeanor possession of cannabis on count 1. So that's a withhold on the misdemeanor cannabis. Adjudication of guilt to lesser included offense, it's driving without valid driver's license, second-degree misdemeanor. The statutory reference is given. We don't represent what the effects will be with DMV, but it's hoped that that will help him getting his driver's license to have it as a driving without valid driver's license. The statutory reference is given on count 2 for the lesser included. 11 months, 29 days probation on count 1, followed by a consecutive 6 months probation on count 2. And again, it's JCS supervision. Substance abuse evaluation within 30 days with any recommended treatment to commence within 60 days. Random urinalysis, 24 hours community service, maintain gainful employment, or complete 2 applications per week. 270. I put 275 court costs. I thought for marijuana it was $5 more, but I may be wrong, Madam Clerk.
It's
270?
Yeah.
Can the court change it to 270?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then 150 PD fees, yes.
Point of clarification, just want to make sure, count 2 is driving on, is the lesser included, driving on a license suspended. That's a maximum incarceration of 60 days.
Right.
So is that 6 months probation
It still allows 6 months probation, Your Honor.
That's what I have.
Yes, it's 60 days or 6 months.
Okay.
It is, that does apply.
60 days incarceration or 6 months or a combination.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, very good. Mr. Arnett, would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, so you heard your attorney go through the terms of the plea agreement. It's contained in your written agreement,
Yes, sir.
which you signed. Make sure that you've signed. Have you gone over it, read it closely and gone over it in detail with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you got all your legal questions answered, because there's a little bit of nuance here. They did a lesser included. One of these is being withheld on the possession charge. And then on the second one, there is an adjudication on the driving while license suspended. You gone over what that means on that?
Yes, sir, I have.
And so you've got a total of basically 1.5 years of probation. So it's 1129 followed by 6 months probation. That's consecutive, so that's on top of one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's a total of basically about 1.5 years. Got the other community service, fees and costs, substance abuse evaluation, all those things. Any questions?
No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good luck to you, man. Your Honor, next is Tyra C. Booker. Miss Booker is on the docket at number 240, cases 23 CF 1891 and 1892. And we have a agreement in her case, Your Honor. Excuse me, I'm just gonna pull it out here. No, sir, this is Tyra Booker. Your Honor, everyone has signed the agreement as required. If I may approach with the agreement and score sheet.
You may.
And I'll have a copy for state probation, Your Honor.
Thank you.
A little bit complicated, but not too bad.
Did you announce the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, under this agreement, Ms. Booker will change her plea to no contest. There will be adjudication of guilt as charged. There will be 4 years concurrent probation. She may seek transfer to Alabama. She's from Mobile, works 2 jobs there. You have children too, right? One. Under the interstate compact, she can seek transfer, 24 hours community service, no trespassing at any Ulta beauty store, maintain gainful employment or complete 2 applications per week, shoplifter awareness class, no firearms or drugs not prescribed during supervision, random urinalysis, 515 court costs times 2, 250 total public defender fees.
State?
That is the state's agreement, Your Honor.
Ms. Booker, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes.
Sir.
So you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand in. And I see those same terms are contained in your written plea agreement that you signed.
Yes, sir.
Have you gone over, have you read this closely?
Yes, sir.
Gone over it in detail with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you understand, and had all your legal questions answered regarding this, because you're waiving some valuable legal rights by entering into this.
Yes, sir.
And right to force the state to prove their case beyond every reason. All that goes away because you're agreeing to a final resolution here today. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You do have some of these fundamental rights, and you need to make sure you understand if you want to. You believe it's in your best interest to enter into this plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that testimony, the court will accept this plea agreement. And for both the charges, you're going to be sentenced to 4 years probation. They'll serve concurrent, so it's basically 1 4-year probationary period. You can seek to transfer supervision to Alabama under the interstate compact. You gotta go through some procedures though, so you gotta do whatever they tell you, okay?
Yes, sir.
You do have, in addition to that, some more details, shoplifters awareness, gainful employment, community service, fees and costs, no firearms or illegal drugs. All those things are contained in there. That's all those are conditions of your probation. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea in that sentence. And even though you just were sentenced to that, you do have 6 months to appeal. Okay?
Yes, sir.
You, Mr. Medina, is the score sheet okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, next will be Alexander M. Buena, B-U-E-N-A, last name. He is number 249 on the docket.
Okay.
23 CF 1816. It's a misdemeanor plea agreement, if I may approach, Your Honor.
You may. Thank you.
Mr. Buena, how old are you? 18. Your Honor, under this agreement, Alexander Buena will be changing his plea to no contest. There will be adjudication of guilt to a lesser included offense, misdemeanor resisting officer without violence on count 1. Count 2 will be adjudicated guilty as charged, and that was to a second-degree misdemeanor. 11 months, 29 days probation on count 1, followed by a consecutive 6 months probation on count 2. Supervision will be by JCS, 270 court costs, 150 public vendor fees, 24-hour community service, maintain gainful employment or complete 2 applications per week. And that's subject to modification by JCS for school attendance. And I think your school, when does that attendance start? Tomorrow? Okay. So that would be left to JCS to have some modification depending on his, if he's going to be a full-time student.
Okay. This is stated in agreement.
Yes, Your Honor, that is a state's agreement.
Do you pronounce your name Buena?
Buena, yes, sir.
Buena. Mr. Buena, would you raise your right hand?
Yes, sir.
You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
So you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement, and I see you've signed the written plea agreement that contains those same terms. So have you read this closely, this plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
And gone over it in detail with your attorney, make sure you had all your legal questions answered?
Yes, sir.
And as you've heard me say, you've been sitting here all day, heard me say about this, you're waiving the right to go to a trial.
Yes.
This will be a final adjudication. You believe that's in your best interest to do that?
Yes, sir.
And you have had all your legal questions answered.
Yes, sir.
Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement. There'll be an adjudication as to count 1 to the lesser included offense of misdemeanor resisting arrest without violence. And as to count 2, it will be as charged, which is also to a misdemeanor. There'll be an adjudication of guilt in both of those. You'll be sentenced 11 months, 29 days on probation for count 1, followed by consecutive, so not served at the same time, so added on to it, 6 months probation as to count 2, so it's a total of a year and a half or so.
Yes.
Supervision by JCS, you got court costs and fees, community service hours, must maintain gainful employment, and or 2 applications per week. Any questions?
No, sir.
Did you get a card showing where to go? Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
good. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good luck.
Your Honor, next is Desmond Howard Dean. Mr. Dean is approaching docket number 268, case 23 CF 1698. And Your Honor, in his agreement, it's a cross-referencing to his being required to do pretrial intervention. There is no score sheet because he's going to be doing pretrial intervention.
Okay.
And it's set forth in there, if he successfully completes PTI, his no contest plea will be automatically withdrawn and the case dismissed. If he fails to successfully complete PTI, he'll go directly to sentencing. So I've emphasized the importance of his being very scrupulous to comply with PTI, and he understands that, Your Honor.
And seems as though there was not an agreement with regards to an adjudication of guilt.
Your Honor, that will be determined if he fails the PTI. If he fails the PTI agreement, we'll proceed to sentencing, and at that time, the court will make a determination what the sentence will be.
Okay. Very good.
It's not one where it would be a mandatory adjudication of guilt were he to violate. So would be a first-time offender, and hopefully that will not arise. But if it did, the court would have discretion.
Very good. Mr. Dean, would you raise your right hand? Swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. Those same terms are contained in this written plea agreement. You hear me go all day long saying the same thing. You read this thing?
Yes, sir.
Gone over the detail with your attorney, make sure you had your legal questions answered.
Yes, sir.
You understand that by entering into this, you're waiving the right to go to a trial. This will be a final adjudication of this case. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You believe it's in your best interest to enter into this agreement?
Yes, sir.
You feel like you do understand all the ins and outs of this thing?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement. This is a little bit different because this is a plea agreement, but you're agreeing to a PTI, and that carries with it some very beneficial parts of it. The good part is you finish this thing, your charges get dismissed.
Yes,
That's a big deal. I mean, you don't have a record, you don't have to check it off on, employment, are you convicted? No, boom, it goes away.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But if you don't do the PTI, which there's no reason you can't, you gotta pay attention to it. If you do fail it though, you're gonna come right back and we'll go right to sentencing. So basically, you're gonna be adjudicated guilty, okay? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Court will accept the plea.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
How long is the PTI, and do we have a PTI?
Yeah, he has the PTI agreement, and it is, I should have kept that with him, Judge. I'm so sorry. Thank you for asking. We have the court.
And he needs to sign it too.
Yes, and that will go with him to state probation right now.
Probation needs to have it.
He needs that.
Sorry, thank you, ma'am.
It's 10 months, I believe. Yes, ma'am, 10 months. The office of arrest.
Do you have to sign that?
He usually signs it when he meets the intake office of arrest, so I leave that to probation's direction, Your Honor. My understanding is when he met with office of arrest, he would sign it, but. Okay, Your Honor, next is Carissa Angelina DiBenedetto. Ms. DiBenedetto is before the court on docket number 269, case 22 CF 3092. And she has an agreement for a misdemeanor resolution, if I may approach with a signed agreement, Your Honor.
You may.
And there will be no supervision under this agreement, Your Honor. It's a time served on a misdemeanor count 2. Under this agreement, Ms. DiBenedetto will be changed into no contest as to the following agreement. The state would be agreeing to dismiss count 1 in exchange for the following: adjudication of guilt as charged on count 2, which was a misdemeanor paraphernalia, credit for time served, $270 court costs. The defendant may do community service for eligible costs. She requested that. I told her that was very common in county court, but not very common in felony court. But I'm hoping that that will allow her to get some credit, work off through community service, and I think that's administered by communicating to the clerk's office. So, 150 public defender fees. And then outstanding monetary obligations will go to judgment after 6 months, Your Honor.
Point of clarification. In the portion outlining the agreement, it says adjudication of guilt as charged on count 2. However, paragraph 2, where the standard form, where you checked it off, it says adjudication of guilt is withheld.
That was a typo, Your Honor. May I?
Which one is a typo? Is it
It was,
withheld or
it's adjudication of guilt because it is a time-served deal on the misdemeanor. There's going to be no supervision, so that was an error. I am just striking through the withheld and putting an X, and she's signing by the adjudicated X, Your Honor. Thank you.
If we all try and get these details right, maybe we'll get
Yes,
it
Your
right.
Honor.
It all work out. Okay, so Ms. Benedetta, did I get that right?
You did.
Lucky. I'm not gonna try it twice. So, ma'am, you heard the attorney state the terms of your plea. Is the state in agreement with this?
Yes, Your Honor, this is
So you heard the terms of the plea agreement, and I see you signed the plea agreement as well. So you understand that by entering into this plea agreement, pretty straightforward, you get credit for time served, and you are required to do fees and costs that will go to collection after 6 months, and you'll get credit for all time served. Count one will be dismissed. You had all your legal questions about, so you understand this will be a final adjudication of this matter.
I do.
Court will accept the plea, dismiss count one in exchange for an adjudication of guilt on count two, which is the possession of paraphernalia, misdemeanor, fees and costs. You can do community service to cover some of these eligible costs, and you got PD fees. Any monetary obligations, you'll have 6 months to pay it, and after that, it goes to collections. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck.
Next is Louis Dwayne Dawson. Mr. Dawson is before the court, docket 267. His cases are 23 CF 2962, which is a VOP case, and 23 CF 1675. And at this time,
What number is that on you?
Your Honor, I thought Mr. Dawson was 267. Maybe I'm incorrect.
There it is. You are correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, Your Honor, I'm approaching with in essence, a plea to the bench agreement. And under this agreement, Mr. Dawson is admitting the VOP and pleading to the bench with a 20-month cap on DOC with credit for all time served and no cap on supervision. I do advise the court that we would intend to coordinate with the state and with Your Honor's judicial assistant in the setting of a sentencing hearing. I did not see the need for a PSI agreement. We were not seeking it. If the court wants one, we can certainly do that. But basically, he has been accepted at Phoenix House. I think you live at One Hopeful Place now, don't you? And he wants to go to Phoenix House. There's a disagreement with the state about whether that will be allowed. So he wants to try that. There is a possibility, however, that the court will disagree and send him to prison, and there is a 20-month cap agreed to on that issue, Your Honor. He has been accepted at Phoenix House.
And so you would be seeking to have that kind of as a part of the plea, as a part of the sentencing, that he would be a condition of a probationary period?
Yes, Your Honor, and if he's depending on when he's doing, my understanding is he's doing fine at One Hopeful Place, and so it's possible that he would certainly prefer that it be basically in essence, from One Hopeful Place to a bed at Phoenix House rather than going to the jail and unnecessarily, hopefully, avoiding that. So,
Is the state in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, that is the state's agreement, and the 20 months guideline sentence was the state's offer, so that's why the state made this.
This a small clarification, ma'am, is that the guidelines was like 18 point something.
Yes,
It was a
slightly
little bit
over.
less than that, so there was a little bit of a add-on, but not much. But that was the state's offer, and the state has agreed to make its offer the cap, 20 months.
Very good. Mr. Dawson, would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
So, just looking at your, it says defendant admits VOP and pleads to the bench. The VOP is case number 22 CF 2962, but there's another case with possession of a controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia, and it's not, to me, clearly spelled out what we're doing with that.
That's, Your Honor, the intent is that, that it's going to be.
Did he admit the VOP and the other charges?
Yes, but it's going to sentencing on it, whether the court, I mean, I presume the court will adjudicate him guilty on it, but that would be up to the court and be determined as a matter of sentencing. He was pleading no contest to the new charge, the new law charge, and the reason why we put admitting is so that we did deal with the VOP.
It says is admitting the VOP. He's
Right.
not talking about the new law charge. You're not. It's not even referenced in here. That's my question.
May I have it back, Your Honor, and I'll add some agreed language on that. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'm just trying to make it clear.
Yes.
When we enter into these plea agreements, it's important that they're clear so that you understand what you're agreeing to and that the state agree. Everybody's got to agree.
Your Honor, I'm writing an asterisk after defendant admits VOP and pleads no contest on new law charges.
Okay. Thank you.
And he is going to initial by that asterisk. That okay? Thank you. Ma'am? Yeah, yeah. Yes.
Okay, so, Mr. Dawson, you heard some of the discussion. You've seen the written agreements contained in here. Do you understand what this plea agreement is?
I do, sir.
And you understand that by entering into this plea agreement, this will be a final adjudication of your case?
Yes, sir.
And it'll be a waiver of the right to go to a trial. You can't back up later and say, oh, I changed my mind.
I understand.
You understand that? Importantly, you're admitting both the VOP as well as the new law charges.
Yes, sir.
There'll be a 20 months cap on DOC. That's the upper limit of what the court can do, or it can be less than that. And it will be no cap on supervision, so I could do other additional probation. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You believe this is in your best interest to do this, huh?
I do, sir.
Was there an offer other than this, the minimum guidelines, is that?
No, Your Honor, the cap the state's agreed to was the state's offer.
Okay.
So I'm agreeing to cap it at what I had offered.
Okay.
And just for the record, we would be producing the score sheet as part of the sentencing, and that sentence computation lowest permissible prison sentence was 18.150 with a 52.2 score, and because it's 60 points or less, we believe we have a legitimate right to request the court to consider Phoenix House, because it's a 60 points or less, it would be covered by the drug offender probation statute.
So, just so we understand, if the minimum sentence on the score sheet is 18 point whatever years, right?
Months, Your Honor. 18.150 months.
Months.
Yes.
Sorry.
Not years.
So, you freak your defendant out.
Pretty much.
Just months. Are we saying in that, are you gonna have to argue for a downward departure?
Your Honor,
listen to me, to go below the 18.15 months. I wanna make sure that everybody's clear, because I think you do, but I wanna make sure that that everybody understands that. I'm
We-
not saying I can't do that, I'm just saying that that's what's required under the law.
Yes, Your Honor, we would need to show a reason for departure. I would anticipate that reasons.
No, as long as you
Right.
feel like you can come up with one. I just
Just-
wanna make sure that we're kinda all on the same page, that's an additional burden on you. Now, you could argue, based on what you told me, you don't need a downward departure to get to 18.15 months.
Well,
But to go below that, you would.
what I respectfully believe my argument would be is that the drug offender probation statute would be an alternative to one of the listed mitigating circumstances. And it's technically, whether you call it a mitigating circumstances and a downward departure, it is a statutory program that is set up for people in his situation, so it would be tantamount to a downward departure. He would also hopefully be entitled to, in the court's discretion, consideration based on mental health issues for a more listed mitigating circumstance. But the drug offender statute, whether one considers to be technically a downward departure or not, it's a legislative approved alternative sentencing program that would apply, we think. We would need to show that he qualifies.
State have any thought?
I don't have anything to add, Your Honor, except for just that I think it's a little bit tricky because on the violation, if it was a reinstatement and modification, then the score, you don't need to technically need a downward departure, but because there's a new charge, I think on the new charge, you'd need a downward departure.
Well, by saying it's tricky, what does that mean, counsel? Is that a legal term? Tricky, no, I'm saying like I'm being a little cute, but I'm not. You're acknowledging that there is a legal issue there, and I'm kind of trying to flush out that legal issue a little bit. And it's not helpful to say, it's tricky, it could be this way, it could be that way. What are you arguing?
So you're.
I just want to make sure that he understands, this defendant understands that it's not just up to it may not just be up to the judge. If I'm constrained in some ways by departing downwardly, there sometimes are legal statutory constraints on the judge. It's not just, well, Judge, if you think it should be less than 20, then whatever you think. I don't want to have any misunderstanding about that.
So here's what I will say, on the violation, technically, I don't think you need a downward departure to reinstate and modify. On the new charge, the state agrees with Mr. Medina that because he's below 60 points, there is a downward departure that the court could give him that would apply. That's the drug offender.
So I could downwardly depart.
Either way, yes, because it's below, the total sentence points are 60 points or below.
I'm sorry, I don't have.
I'm not 100% sure I understand, but you guys will help me flesh it out.
Yes, Your Honor. I was looking for, I have my various things I copied, but I couldn't put my hands on it, but I'm quite certain that there is a statute for drug offender probation that would apply in this situation, but it would still be up to the court's discretion.
Sure.
As would anything else that would be a ground for departure.
Well, the only thing I wanted to make sure that if there were some constraints on the court's discretion, that everybody is clear about that. I didn't want to say, well, you can do whatever you want, Judge, and from 0 probation up to 20 months.
It is
and
one.
the state comes and says, whoa, you don't really have that discretion.
Right. And this.
You got a downwardly depart, and I just want to make sure everybody is clear about it.
I think that everybody's in agreement, Your Honor, and that and I do understand that because there is a new law felony, the court would not simply have the open-ended right to reinstate and modify with that as part of the case. There would be a need to be a downward departure, or like I said, this alternative sentencing regime that's tantamount to the same thing.
Okay, very good. Okay, with all that discussion, Mr. Dawson, I probably just confused you royally.
It was quite confusing, Your Honor, yes, sir.
Well, with all that confusion, it means there's a degree of uncertainty. There's going to be legal arguments made regarding this, the court's discretion to go below 20 months. We know we're all clear, you can't get more than 20.
Correct.
But for me to go below, they're going to be arguing different things legally. It's
Correct.
not exactly clear, and that's why I wanted to clarify. It's a little more complicated. It's not real simple. I just want to make sure you understand that it's not cut and dry. You're willing to kind of roll the dice, let your attorney, the other state, they can argue all the legal mumbo jumbo, and then I have to make a decision.
Yes, sir.
Are you comfortable that you believe that's in your best interest to go that route?
Yes, sir.
Even though there's a little bit of uncertainty? You sure you still think it's in your best interest?
Life is uncertain, Your Honor.
Well, now you're getting philosophical. Can't disagree. Life is uncertain. Okay. Well, with that philosophical moment, I think you understand what you're doing then. The court will accept your plea, and the defendant admits the VOP and the two new law charges. There'll be a 20 months cap on DOC with credit for all time served. There'll be no cap on supervision, and the court will convene a sentencing at some point in the short-term future. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Next, Your Honor.
Yeah, do we need to go ahead and set a date? If it's in the afternoon, it needs to be on miscellaneous statements. So who's,
Your Honor, I'm
you
sorry.
don't want a PSA, right?
No, we're not requesting
Okay,
it.
so I'm fine with that, but I need to have one of you all contact Eileen to set the date.
Oh, we'll coordinate, Your Honor. My assistant will get with Ms. Sharpless, his assistant, and coordinate with your assistant.
Sure.
So it'll be to be determined on the clerk's record
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
correct.
Your Honor, next would be Jake Dunn. Mr. Dunn is docket 277. Jake Delane Dunn, 23 CF 1406. And Madam Clerk and Your Honor, there was an amended information filed late this morning or early this afternoon. I'm not sure if the Madam Clerk sees it, but I have a copy if you need it. But basically, this is a misdemeanor plea that's being entered consistent with the amended information that the state just filed earlier today.
And I do have an extra copy for the court as well.
I do as well, and I'll just approach with that, if I may, Your Honor.
You may.
And it has been formally filed with the clerk, though, Your Honor. And I believe we just need to arraign him on that, Mr. Medina?
Yes, ma'am, and we can waive arraignment on counts 2 and 3 with the amended information.
Thank you. Just want to be sure.
Your Honor, under this agreement, Jake Delane Dunn will be resolving 23 CF 1406 with a nolo contendere, no contest plea to.
Is this plea agreement pursuant to the newly filed?
That's correct. It's the current, quote unquote, current charges that are above the line of where it says nolo contendere. Those are consistent with what Your Honor has in hand in the amended information.
Very good, thank you.
I did revise it over the lunch break. It'll be adjudication of guilt to a lesser included offense contributing to dependency. First degree misdemeanor statutory reference is given on count 1 and to counts 2 and 3, which were already contributing to dependency charges on counts 2 and 3. There will be 3 consecutive terms of 11 months, 29 days probation. Probation will be supervised by JCS. I asked that he be eligible for online reporting. He will have to do anger management class. There will be no contact with MD, a date of birth that is stated in the agreement, or her family. And I put an asterisk because there is an ongoing DCF proceeding. He's represented by court-appointed lawyer, I believe it's Ms. Graham. And so she's trying to work those issues out. I think the mother of the child is also in the same similar proceeding, similar situation. So depending
MD
MD is the minor.
is the minor that's also the subject of the DCF proceeding.
Correct, Your Honor. So in the, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, and Your Honor, if I may, we did speak with the mother as recently as today. She is on board and also indicated if DCF does need him to have access to herself or the child as part of the case plan, that she's going to be open to that. So that has all been considered already. We just told her that she just needs to formally request that, and Mr. Dunn would have to do the same, but we're not opposed and she's not opposed.
So for now, it would be no contact, but we might ask the court to open it back up to change to no violent contact if that's what the DCF proceeding result is.
I'm a little unclear. If they seek a change in the DCF with no contact, let's say that they say assume Mr. Dunn is the father.
Yeah, well, Your Honor, we may have to approach on that, but he is on the child birth certificate.
Okay, that's a legal question,
right,
if he's the father. I'm not asking whether he's really the father. I'm
right,
asking him legally is he the father. You just answered it by saying he was on the birth certificate.
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay, so if the DCF case says father should have unsupervised, the state goes, no, I don't want to. Can the state, can you object on the criminal case?
Your Honor, after
Or or is the state basically saying, hey, whatever DCF does, we're going to go along with?
Your Honor, after speaking with the mother, we're comfortable with going with what the DCF case plan and DCF recommends.
What if mom disagrees?
I mean, we spoke with her this morning. We're all okay with going with what DCF does.
Your Honor, I think the court would have continuing
There's a lot of nuance here, and unfortunately I've lived it sometimes. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I recognize that Your Honor is an expert on this, and I'm not having presided over thousands of cases involving similar issues. Your Honor's certainly far more aware of these issues than me. But my understanding is that the court would be having continuing jurisdiction to address those kinds of issues. So if the parties need to bring them to the court's attention to seek any modification, but the court's order is no contact as of today, and unless it's waived or modified by the court, that is the court's order, and you can go to jail if you violate, and do not violate.
Okay. Very good. So, Mr. Dunn, would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yeah, I do, Your Honor.
So I know this discussion may have been a little confusing. We'll try and make sure you understand it. Two things I want to do. Put your hand up. Two things I want to do. I want to make sure you understand what your plea agreement is. And I want to make sure you're entering it voluntarily. The nature of my questions was to make sure that I was clear and that the lawyers were clear so that you could be clear about what exactly this means. Some of the most complicated areas of this is when you intersect between criminal and dependency. There's two jurisdictions that are kind of colliding. And most of the time they kind of fit together well, but not always. And particularly some of that has to do with contact with the child and stuff that's pretty important at the end of the day. So that's the purpose of this. So you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement, and see those are written down. You basically have 3 years of probation. That's pretty clear. But the part's a little more complicated. You have anger management class. That's pretty clear. But there's no contact with MD. That's the child that's a part of the DCF proceedings, correct? Or her family. No contact. Okay? And so what that means is no contact, you need to understand that's one-sided. That means if somebody from that family picks the phone up and calls you, and you pick it up, you're in violation of your probation. Now, if you got a call and you didn't know who it was, you picked up, you saw it, and you hung up, you're not gonna get in trouble for that. But it points out the fact that it's up to you to stay away from them, not vice versa. Never had a problem with it, but I wanna be clear with it that you've got to have the obligation to stay away. But you can, you have the right, and I would urge you to actively pursue your DCF case, whatever that means, okay? But right now, this is no contact. So if at some point you get contact in DCF case, you're gonna have to come back to this court to get permission to do that. And that's where the conflict between criminal and this dependency course. But for this, it says no contact, and you're not, in addition, you're not to be the sole caregiver for any minor. That doesn't mean that you can have contact with other minors, but you just can't be babysitting any other minor under this court order. Okay, you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've got PDs and court costs set, and you may revisit this issue based on, changes that are going on in the DCF case.
Your Honor, Deputy By's kindly giving him a card for JCS, and hopefully if he gets there by today, he can do the paperwork, if not by 8 a.m. But you should be able to get there now when you leave. Do you have to take an Uber or something? You didn't drive, okay. All right.
Okay, any questions, consider? Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, good. Your Honor, now I've got some continuances that hopefully will just take a few minutes. First is Mr.
We will take a break right after Mr. Medina's continuance.
Corey Chavis.
Okay.
Your Honor, Mr. Chavis is before the court. Corey Chavis is before the court, Your Honor, docket 255. His case is 23 CF 655. We have been needing to locate a witness in the case, and it's my understanding the state is having maybe difficulty finding the alleged victim who we had deposed over the summer. Do we need to do a full cycle continuance, or does the state think we can maybe accomplish something on docket day? I do want the state aware that when I talked to Mr. Chavis today, he was not interested in a misdemeanor probation, any kind of a misdemeanor deal at this time. That was his. Okay. Your Honor, we would ask to continue this to February.
Okay, now, there was an announcement last time. I'm going to give you guys a continuance. There was an announcement that was the last continuance. Did we lose one of our witnesses? Is that why we're changing the?
It really, nothing has changed, is that the defendant would has attempted to serve the sole, the third party witness to the alleged altercation in the house. We can't find her, the state can't find her, so she's not found. Meanwhile, my understanding is the alleged victim may not be findable, but at least as to her, the defense was able to prepare by taking a deposition. We can't fully prepare, so I can't say we're ready for trial through no fault of the defense because we can't find the victim.
Well, I'm not going to force the defense. The defense might be in a position to force the state, but I'm not going to do that. At this point, that's not what you're asking for.
No,
so
Your
the
Honor.
court will continue this until 2/12.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You understand? Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. And depending on when the state has contact with the alleged victim, there may be a change of position on the state's part. We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't want to do a drop dead kind of a situation at this point. Your Honor, next is Mr. Armand Colbreth. Your Honor, Armand D. Colbreth is before the court.
What number do you have on?
Yes, Your Honor, he is docket 264. Case 23 CF 1247.
Got it.
I am working on setting a deposition of investigator Dustin Rice. However, it's with some reluctance that we're going to that stage because we still don't have some items of discovery that we think we need. And I had set those out in an October 5th email to Ms. Basso, and I would ask the state to consider those discovery issues as we go forward, but we'll go ahead and set the deposition of Investigator Rice and take them up that way. We can be moving the case along.
We'll continue this until 2/12.
Thank you.
And I will follow up.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Next.
Yes, next is Miss Mary Darwin. Mary Darwin is docket 266, 23 CF 1635. Your Honor, I am asking to have Ms. Darwin kept on docket day for a plea or continue. I know we don't normally have cases on docket day unless we think we can resolve them, and I hope we can resolve them, but I also need Ms. Darwin to meet with me, hopefully this Friday, in my office so that we can come back to docket day and know whether we're plea or continue.
Very good. We'll continue this till next Monday, docket day at 9 a.m. Plea or continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay? Call Vicki. Do you have my card? Way, just try to get in touch with her tomorrow morning if you can today, okay? Thank you, ma'am. All right. She'll fit you in on Friday. Yes, ma'am. Your Honor, next is Amy E. Douglas, 23 CF 1543. Ms. Douglas is docket number 275. She's approaching, Your Honor, and it's a similar type situation. I would ask Ms. Douglas to please get with my assistant and set up a meeting for this Friday and come back on docket day a week from today, Your Honor.
Very good. Continue this till docket day. Is the state okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor, there's an offer on the table that might need a quick resolution that if Mr. Medina can meet with us, might get this
Very
resolved.
good. 12/18 at 9 a.m.
You come back here at 9 a.m. a week from today, but meet with my office on Friday and call Vicki, my assistant, to set the appointment.
Yes, sir.
For what time Friday? Okay?
All right.
Thank you. Your Honor, next is Mr. Evans, Joseph Evans Jr. Mr. Evans is approaching in docket 283, 23 CF 1658. And I would ask for him to return on docket day for a plea or continue, and to also call my office to set up a meeting for this Friday, okay?
Yes, sir.
And these, some of these have had some prior continuances, so I want to move them along, Your Honor.
I appreciate that. We'll continue this until next Monday, docket day, 12/18 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, sir.
You have my card? Thank you. All right, thank you. And I appreciate the court's patience. My others are out of custody, are waivers.
Okay.
And I think if Mr. Gates is ready to proceed, I will step aside because I don't think I have any other people in the court.
Judge, can I be part of my case?
You can, and then we're going to take a short break, just because we all need a short break in the end.
Judge, this is Jeremy Hargis. He is number 154 on the dockets.
Hold on, just a second. What's the docket number again?
154. Last name Hargis. He was apparently in the hallway.
Very good, Hargis.
Judge, in that Mr. Hargis was in the hallway, I would ask that the capias be withdrawn.
Court will withdraw the cases.
With respect to Mr. Hargis, I've advised him to have a potential conflict due to a co-defendant. So if I can leave this set for docket day, just so that he's kept up to speed on who his next attorney will be, I'll have that motion to withdraw filed this week, Judge, and hopefully he can proceed forward with his new counsel.
Very good. So we'll continue this till next Monday at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
We'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Let's, Mr. Gates, give me about 10 minutes and we'll roll into all your cases, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I was explaining to the clients that we're talking with, I'm
Call
here for selection.
850-683-1045.
CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer since 1999. We're state licensed and insured, family owned and operated with 24 years of local service. We specialize in shingles and metal, re-roofs, repairs, and leak specialists. For all of your roofing needs, call us today or visit our website at cqroofing.com. CQ Roofing, your hometown roofer.
Days Tire Pros makes buying tires simpler. They offer a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, a hassle-free experience, and a great selection of Michelin tires. No matter what you drive or where you have driven, Michelin has a tire to fit any need. Visit our store in Crestview or online at daystirepros.com. Tire Pros love the drive.
Hey, I'm David at Family Vision of Crestview. We've been providing excellent optical service for Northwest Florida for over 34 years. Come in and let us take care of you.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestview.agent.com.
Alex Barthay from the UPS store once again, and I wanted to let you know about our Sunday hours. We're open now 7 days a week. Normal hours that you've been expecting, but now we're open Saturday 10 to 4, Sunday 10 to 3, and that's both our Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Eglin Air Force Base locations. So you have things to do, go and do it. Just know the UPS store is going to be here. Again, Sundays 10 until 3 p.m.
What can I help you with?
I think I was bit by a vampire.
This is definitely concerning, but I don't have any experience with vampire bites. I do, however, have training in accident investigation from the Florida Highway Patrol, and I'm proud to say that I've received many awards that... Hey, you feeling okay, buddy?
Injured? Take a breath. Call Coy.
Hi, I'm Wanda Roberts. For the last 20 years, I've been helping the residents of Northwest Florida buy and sell their properties. My office is just 1 block south of the courthouse in historic downtown Crestview. Give us a call at 850-398-5389.
Hi, I'm Michael Gilbert, defense attorney with Warrior Law. I represent those accused in Santa Rosa, Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you or anyone you know has been accused of a crime, give us a call. We can help.
The Cottage Formalwear, located at 648 North Wilson Street, has all your needs for looking your best. We have homecoming, prom, and pageant dresses. We have tux rental suits, vests, ties. Need something casual? We have that too. Shop Hometown First and visit us on Facebook at the Cottage Boutique and Formalwear. We're located at 648 North Wilson Street. Call 850-682-2446. C&C Asian Market, located at 294 North Main Street in historic downtown Crestview, has the largest selection of Asian noodles, rice, and sauces in Northwest Florida. With more than 2,000 items on their shelves, you'll have no problem finding exactly what you need for preparing that authentic Asian meal. Open Monday through Thursday from 9 till 8, Friday and Saturday from 9 till 9, and Sunday from noon till 6 p.m. Be sure to check out our Facebook page for our weekly specials.
Hello, this is Chris Norman at Bulldog Bail Bonds. Our office is in Crestview, Florida, but we service 7 Northwest Florida counties. If you ever find yourself in a jam, please give us a call. We're here to help you out.
Congratulations, Crestview's very own Dixie Dan Powell of Powell Injury Law, for your recent jury verdict of $11.5 million for your client from a death and injury against an inflatable amusement company. Recognized in 2017 as one of the top 100 civil trial lawyers in the state of Florida, and Dixie is AV preeminent rated. Dixie Dan Powell works tirelessly for his clients, as is evident by this extraordinary verdict. If you're taking your case to trial, be prepared. Contact Dixie Dan Powell and Powell Injury Law, 850-306-2667.
Backbone Bakery Cafe is 2 blocks from the courthouse on Crestview historic Main Street. We serve handmade pastries, espresso, and lunch items, and we're open Tuesday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., serving lunch from 11 to 2. We hope to see you soon.
Hello, I am Bonnie from Body Be Healthy here in Crestview. We have been serving the area since 1999. We're an alternative health food store. If you're interested in bettering your health, we'd like to invite you to stop by. We're located in Court Plaza. Stop by and let us help you be healthy.
I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briarpatch Realty, helping qualified heroes save money.
All right, I'm going to just call the list, and if they're here, they're here. If not, I'll have to pass them for now.
Mr. Couch, you want to do yours first? You want to let him go first?
I'll let Mr. Couch go first, although somebody thought he worked for my office at one point.
Your Honor, just so you know, Mary Mason, the pro se litigant, is present as well.
Okay, we'll get her.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Clinton Couch for Iatrice Guerrera. We are asking for another continuance. Normally, I wouldn't take depositions in a worthless check case. It's pretty straightforward, but this is really more of a landlord-tenant dispute, and I do need to talk with the landlord in order to figure out how we're going to proceed in this case. I work for a law firm out of California, or I'm working in this case for a law firm out of California, and they were supposed to send me the cost deposit, which they have not done yet. So I'm asking for a continuance.
Well, on that base, I'll definitely give you a continuance, because you definitely want to make sure and get your money from California before. Not that I'm saying anything, but
well,
you need to make sure and get your money up front.
Yes, sir. Well, I've been paid for my services. I just, when I told them that the costs for the depositions were also owed, they have been kind of dragging their feet.
We'll continue this till 2/12. Is that all right with the state?
That's correct, Judge.
Do you think you'll be able to get, well, you don't have the money yet. So.
Well, I spoke with my client and asked her if she had spoken with a law firm in California, and she says, I don't know what you're talking about. So I need to rattle some cages.
Well, hopefully in the next couple of months you can get it all squared away and get a deposition.
Yes, sir, I certainly will.
And we'll send deposition dates over to him when he's ready.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have before the court. Good afternoon, sir.
Have a good afternoon. Ms. Mason? Wait a second.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mason. Okay. So, would the state announce and refresh my memory of why Ms. Mason doesn't have an attorney?
Certainly. This is case number 2021 CF 002586, State versus Mary Mason. She's charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription and possession of paraphernalia. So the last time we were here, there was a hearing, and Ms. Mason indicated she no longer wanted to be represented by the public defender. There was a disagreement over whether or not to file a motion to suppress based on a free air sniff of a vehicle. That is my understanding of what was going on the defense side. The public defender came off the case, and Ms. Mason filed her own motion to suppress. However, I don't think it was well taken by the court because she neglected to sign the bottom of it and verify that everything was true and correct to the best of her knowledge. And we're here today.
Well, if I didn't say this to you last time, Ms. Mason, I'll say it to you again, because I say this to all people who operate pro se. Did I explain to you about pro se, what pro se means? Did I even tell you about that?
Sorry, which way to it, Christopher?
Did I tell you last time you were here, did I explain to you what pro se means?
I don't recall, sir. I have tried to get an attorney.
You did try and get an
I
attorney?
am still trying to get an attorney. I've got to go meet with one in Alabama.
I mean, because I can't get one around
Can't
here.
go- If you can't find one down here, you're gonna have a
Well,
hard time
I
getting
did-
one. They gotta be registered down here.
I've been
before.
blackballed.
Well, they're not gonna blackball, you can find it, it's probably.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not having any luck.
So, you can't find an attorney, they're telling you why they don't want your case?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Well, yeah, it really, one said, because I'm not in the clique, and I should have taken the DA's thingamajigger, because it's not a thingamajigger, but his offer, because there's no way you could win here, I should have taken it. And others tell me that I think I know as much as y'all do, and I don't, but that's what the rumor is, and I'm hard to be quiet and let them do what they want to do when I want to explain to them everything, and just somebody listen to me, and it's just not working out. So I guess I am hard to deal with. I'm sorry, I am. But it's me that's going to go to jail, not them.
What are you gonna do?
I am going to have faith, and I'm going to keep on striving, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to do the best I can. And that includes trying to find representation. But right now, I thought that this day we were here to set a date for the trial and for the jury selection. I don't know any other reason why I'm here. I really don't.
So this is a pretrial.
Okay.
You're not entirely incorrect. Are you ready to go to trial?
Yes, sir.
Is the state ready to go to trial?
Judge, I don't know if my witnesses will be available this cycle. What I would ask is that we set this on Monday. We come back on Monday, that gives me time to call my officers.
Okay.
And then also I want to look in the record to see, I know Ms. Mason did file a suppression hearing. I want to make sure that she didn't file for discovery. If she did file for discovery, I want to make sure she has her discovery before she goes to trial. And if she didn't, then I suppose that, well, actually, her attorney filed for discovery, and I gave it to the public defender's office, so we've met our discovery obligations here. So strike that last part.
Okay.
Did you get the discovery in the case from the?
I got nothing from
Who was
either
who was your attorney?
Ray Vaughn and this gentleman here, and I got
Mr.
nothing,
Medina?
nothing from either one of them. I'm blind.
So I assume you gave it to the other attorney, Mr. Medina?
He got it from the other attorney.
I'm not sure what the status of production to her is, but she could call my assistant Vicki, and if
Yeah, I
she
mean, if
needs
they-
a copy of
I
the
asked
discovery
her.
exhibit, if we haven't provided it to her, we would be happy to do so.
And specifically, my understanding is that there was a recording of a deposition, and I think that that's something that she mentioned to me that she had not gotten from her prior attorneys.
To my knowledge, Your Honor, may I address the court?
Sure.
My rough recollection is that we didn't order any transcripts. If that's the case, we're not obligated to order transcripts, and we didn't desire to order or use for trial, but she could coordinate with Vicki, my assistant, to have access to the audio recording if she wants to talk to my assistant in this case.
Thank you. I would like to. Thank you.
So we're gonna come back on docket day, which is next week, 18th at 9 a.m.
It's okay, sir.
And
That's on a Monday?
We'll figure out kind of where we're going.
Thank
You
you.
can maybe communicate with Vicki and his office and
Okay.
figure out where the discovery, because you have the right to get the discovery to find out what's the maximum sentence in this case, Mr. Bosco. This is a possession of a controlled substance. Now, I've got,
0 points.
I thought somebody said also there was a second charge of possession of paraphernalia. I just have one.
There's a misdemeanor in here as well. So I see on my docket where it's paraphernalia and then POCS. The POCS is it's a 3rd degree, so it's a 5-year maximum.
Okay. Okay, so you just need to understand what you're up against.
Oh, I understand, sir. I do.
And you ought to try. I'm a little bit surprised to hear you say that you can't hire an attorney, because my experience with most defense attorneys is They're generally pretty cooperative, particularly if you come in with a check.
Oh, well, it wasn't that, sir. It's just, I'm prior military, and I'm prior Army, and I'm one of them, you be all you can be and do all you can, and I don't know how to shut up much. You know, and I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Mason, I ain't buying that for a
I'm
second.
so sorry.
You need to figure out how to do that and operate in your own best interest.
I'm so trying.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Has the court
We'll allow you, you're gonna get as fair, my job is to try and make it as fair as I can, but
I
the
know
problem
you will.
is.
Thank you,
okay,
sir.
So stop for a second, okay?
Thank
Don't
you.
talk.
Yes, sir.
Let me say something. I wanna explain to you about being pro se, because you need to understand this.
Okay.
Pro se means that you're here, it's not that you're not here without an attorney, it's that you're here representing yourself. So every time you come into this courtroom, you're wearing two hats. One hat is the hat of a defendant. Okay, the other hat is the hat of an attorney representing a defendant. Right now, your hat that you got on right now is the attorney's hat. You're operating as an attorney right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, listen. Okay? But there's a catch here, and that is that lawyers, all lawyers, including you, are required to abide by certain rules in the court, evidentiary rules of procedure. You understand that? And I can't help you tell you what those are, because if I helped you say, well, ma'am, you can't do that because doesn't follow the rules, then I'd be favoring you. I can't favor you, I can't favor them. I'm just telling you that I'm not gonna be able to help you at all. So it's like you were in the Army?
Yes, sir.
It's like going into a knife fight with one hand tied behind your back.
Good.
Okay? And you're already at a disadvantage because you ain't got an attorney.
I know, sir.
Okay? So you need to try and find yourself an attorney and see what you can do here. Because I'm going to allow them to proceed forward with this case, and you're going to be at risk for 5 years. When you're sitting in that, and that's not the county jail, and you're sitting in that Department of Corrections facility
I've
for
never been
2,
arrested.
3, 4, 5 years.
I know.
You're gonna look back and say, God, I wish I'd listened to that judge.
I can't do what I can.
Okay? Go find yourself an attorney.
I'm trying. Thank you, sir.
Don't try, do
Here,
it.
is this next Monday at 9 o'clock?
Correct.
Is that when it is?
Monday at 9 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Find yourself an attorney.
Yes, sir. Anybody?
We'll make an announcement the next docket day, and we'll get her an attorney. Sorry, Mr. Gates.
It's all right, Your Honor. First I'm going to call is Jillian Flores. After Ms. Flores will be Dustin Ford. I have Ms. Flores as 169 on my docket, Your Honor. I have no idea if that coordinates with yours.
That's perfect.
Your Honor, this is Ms. Flores before the court. We have a plea agreement to be filed in her case. It'll be to a misdemeanor, so a score sheet's not necessary, if I may approach.
You may. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Would you please announce the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Flores will be pleading no contest in lesser included offense of possession of paraphernalia in count 1 of the information as charged in count 2. Will be a withhold of adjudication. Count 1 should be placed on 11 months, 29 days of probation concurrent. Count 2, 6 months probation concurrent. Waive the cost of supervision. $270 of court costs, $150 of offender fee. Required to do a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days. Any recommended treatment within 60 days. Random urinalysis. Maintain gainful employment or complete 4 job applications per week.
State.
That's correct.
Ms. Flores, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
So, ma'am, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. I see those same terms are contained in the written agreement that you've signed. Did you read through this agreement closely?
Yes.
And you go over it in detail with your attorney, make sure you understand all the legal ins and outs. Understand that you're waiving the right to go to a trial. This will be a final adjudication in this case. You believe it's in your best interest to do that?
Yes.
And you feel like you've got all your legal questions answered by your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea. Court will withhold adjudication On both counts, the lesser included count of possession of paraphernalia, the court will sentence you to 11 months, 29 days on probation. And count 2, 6 months of probation, they'll be served concurrent. So they'll be served at the same time, so it's essentially 1 year of probation. Got some other fees and costs, substance abuse evaluation, recommended treatment, random UAs, other terms and conditions that are contained in here, including employment, gainful employment, or make application. Any questions? No. Good luck. Stay in good contact with your probation officers.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, next I've got is Dustin Ford. My docket shows it as number 170.
Yes, sir.
That'll be followed by Cody Frazier. This is Mr. Ford before the court. The state did make Mr. Ford an offer as charged. He has asked if we could continue his case so that we could review the FDLE report. We don't have that yet, so if I can move him to February.
Okay. Court will continue this until February 12th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gates, what do you not have?
FDLE.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any idea when we expect the FDLE report?
I will follow up on it, Judge, and I'll make sure I have an answer for you at the next court date.
Your Honor, next I've got is Cody Frazier. Mr. Frazier is 171 on the docket. That'll be followed by Ian Freeman. Your Honor, this is Mr. Frazier before the court. We met, the state and I talked about this case, and I met with him. The offer is a plea is charged for supervision. He has asked if the state might consider an alternative sanction. In the meantime, I do have him on a list of cases scheduled for depositions, so we can continue his case to the February docket, and if the state can take.
What was the plea?
Plea is charged, Your Honor, for supervision.
Supervision meaning probation.
I think it's actually 2 years of community control followed by 2 years of probation.
So what is the maximum charge on these? Am I looking at 20 plus the DUI charge? What is the DUI?
Yes, Your Honor.
Felony, third-degree felony?
Misdemeanor DUI. Part of the issue on this, Your Honor, is that the FDLE report came back for a pink powder that originally tested on scene for fentanyl that is not fentanyl, so that charge is actually incorrect. So there's some pieces moving on the.
So you think that this may be some improper charges?
Yes, Your Honor, based upon what I've seen on the FDLE. So I want some time to go over that with Mr. Frazier and let the state have some time to review it as well.
Okay, very good. So you want to come back on 212?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you.
Your Honor, next I've got is Ian Freeman. Should be number 172 on the docket. That'll be followed by Scott Frost. Your Honor, Mr. Freeman and I have gone over the state's offer. It's actually for misdemeanor. He's asked if the state would take a look at it for potential straight jail offer instead of the probation. If we could leave him for Monday, I think depending on the offer, the jail offer from the state, we may do that, or he may take the probation on a misdemeanor. He just wants the state to see if there's an offer he'll take.
Okay, so we'll continue this till docket day next week, which is next Monday, 12/18 at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Our next is going to be Scott Frost.
And Your Honor, that was plea continue?
Yes.
That's correct. Thank you.
Scott Frost on the docket. It should be number 173, followed by Anthony Gaynor, Your Honor. This is Mr. Frost before the court, Your Honor. He and I met this morning. We kind of discussed some of the charges. I'm going to let Mr. Frost tell me what he would like to do. If we can have the court continue Mr. Frost's case. I'm looking, looks like the first time up on one case, and then on the other, is a little bit older, they're both theft. At this point, I'll look to schedule depositions and work his case to discovery.
So you want to do a full cycle?
Yes, Your Honor.
State okay with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will continue that till 2/12. This is an early case. So.
And our next I've got is Anthony Gaynor. That'll be followed by Michael Gonzalez. Gonzalez, yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gaynor is number 174 on the docket. I gave the state a plea earlier, Mr. Gainer.
I handed it back. Oh, no, I didn't. I apologize.
I may approach, Your Honor. It's going to be a misdemeanor. No score sheet will be necessary for this case.
Do you announce the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Gainer will be entering a plea of no contest to the lesser included offense of no valid driver's license. It's going to be adjudication of guilt based on 6 months of probation, waive the cost of supervision, $270 court costs, $150 public defender fee. Part of the agreement was Mr. Gainer had gone out and gotten his license reinstated, so that's the reason the state's made this offer.
Very good, Mr. Gainer. If you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
I see you've signed the plea and sentencing agreement that contains the terms that your attorney just stated. All right, have you gone over it with him? Make sure you understand the terms and conditions of this plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
And you understand this will be a final adjudication. You're waiving the right to go to the trial.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's in your best interest.
Yes, sir.
Based upon that, the court will accept your plea. There'll be an adjudication of guilt on the lesser included charge of no valid driver's license. The court will sentence you to 6 months probation, waive the cost of supervision, standard court costs and fees payable during the probation. Question?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next I've got is Michael Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez should be
180.
180? Yes, Your Honor. I'm on the same page. Your Honor, this is Mr. Gainer for the court. We have been working depositions in this case. We've got some more we need to schedule in this case. Those likely won't be until January, if not February at this point. He did provide me with a little bit of reciprocal that I'd like to get to the state this morning that I think might help the state consider a lesser included offense. If we could continue his case to the February docket.
State?
This is Michael Gonzalez?
Yes.
Correct.
No objection, that's fine.
Without objection, the court will continue this till the next cycle, 2/12/9/8.
Your Honor, next I've got is Mr. Rakib Gordon. Mr. Gordon should be number 181 on the docket. Your Honor, we have done some of the depositions in one of Mr. Gordon's cases. The state attorney actually provided some reciprocal a couple days before the other deposition, so I had to cancel those to review it. It's some video surveillance. I'd like to continue Mr. Gordon's case so that he and I can review that, get a decision on what we want to do moving forward. I think the court has already continued the code of this case at this point with RCC.
That's correct, Judge. You continued one of the cases, and I believe you appointed RCC.
Very good. So you're not objecting to the continuance?
No objection, Judge.
Without objection, the court will continue to 2/12/9/8.
Your Honor, next I've got is going to be Daniel Guidey. After Mr. Guidey will be Norman Halfaker. Your Honor, this is Mr. Guidey before the court. Should be number 185 on the docket. We have a plea agreement to be filed. It's for a lesser included offense of misdemeanor. No score sheets necessary, if I may approach.
You may. Would you please announce the plea, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Guidey will be entering a plea no contest as charged to count 2 of the information. In exchange for that plea to count 2, the state's going to dismiss count 1 of the information. It's going to be withhold of adjudication, 11 months, 109 days of probation with JCS, online or phone-in probation, $50 a month cost of supervision, $967 court costs, $150 public defender fee, required to do the batterers and invention program, no violent contact with Mr. Jaquan Shamar Burnett. State again will dismiss count 1 in exchange for a plea to count 2.
Would you please raise your right hand, sir? You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, approach.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you pronounce your name Getty?
Getty.
Getty, Mr. Getty. Mr. Getty, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
And those same terms are contained in the written plea agreement that you've signed. So first question is, did you go over this in detail with your attorney? Make sure you understood what the terms and conditions mean legally. There's a lot of legal stuff in this agreement. Big part of it is you're waiving some valuable legal rights, right? To go to a trial, force the state to prove their case, et cetera. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You believe this in your best interest to waive those rights? There'll be a final adjudication of this case.
Yes, sir.
You understand that? You do have 30 days to appeal it if you wish to. I don't know, but this will be a final adjudication unless you do that. So, do you have any questions concerning the plea agreement as is set out? Okay. Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement. There'll be a withhold of adjudication on the count 2, which is a lesser included. Well, excuse me, it's not. It's domestic violence battery. Count 1 is being null prost, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And for that count 2, the court will sentence the defendant to 11 months, 29 days of probation. You will be able to do so with JCS Online. And there are also the cost of supervision, the public defender's fee, batter's intervention program. Batter's intervention program is a lengthy program. It's close to 6 months. You only got 1 year of probation. Don't wait 9 months to start your batter's intervention program, because then they're going to be violating you because you ain't going to be able to finish. So jump on that BIP, get that going, and so you can go. No violent contact with Mr. Burnett. Okay, that means you're going to kind of be on pins and needles, because if there's any violence, they're going to be coming at you first. You understand that? 100%. So be careful. Okay. And the state does agree that they're dismissing count 1.
I thought he was pleading to the lesser included.
I thought, the way I understand it, that count 1 is being dismissed, and
that's correct.
Battery,
that's
domestic
correct.
Violence is count 2, and that's what's being pled to. Is that correct?
That's correct. I apologize.
That's all right.
We're on the same page.
Okay, very good. So you're okay, you're still on null processing count 1?
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Any questions?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The next I've got is Norman Halfacre. After Mr. Halfacre will be Jennifer Hennessy. Yes, Your Honor. And Mr. Halfacre is before the court in 23 CF 495. Just so he is aware, I have tried multiple times to get the state attorney to make him any sort of amended offer or try and reduce some of the requirements. And unfortunately, even as of today, I think a couple hours ago, the state was telling me no. So this is the best I can get from Mr. Halfacre.
That's correct.
It is a plea to a felony, Your Honor. The state will have to file a score sheet at a later date. Thank you. Mr. Halfacre does not score DOC. I will put on the record, however, we were told essentially that moving forward, all felony DUIs are going to be 12.1 months DOC. So Mr. Halfacre, in lieu of that, has decided to take this offer, which is probation.
So would you announce the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Halfacre will be entering a plea of no contest as charged. He'll be adjudicated guilty on all counts. Count 1, which is a misdemeanor, 11 months, 29 days of probation concurrent. Count 2, 36 months of probation concurrent. Waive the cost of supervision. Required to do 30 days in the county jail with credit for all time served. Defendant will be able to serve the balance on weekends as arranged by himself in parole and probation. $466 in court costs, $150 public defender fee, a $2,000 fine, permanent driver's license revocation, 90-day vehicle impound, which can be waived if he provides proof that he doesn't own a vehicle, 2-year ignition interlock, 50 hours of community service work. He's asked if the court will let him buy that out at the standard rate, multi-offender DUI school, victim impact panel, and if there's any other statutory requirements that I've left out, those are going to be incorporated. Required to do a substance abuse evaluation within 90 days, and then recommended treatment within 120 days, and random year analysis.
State.
That's correct.
Mr. Halfaker, would you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so, Mr. Halfaker, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. You've been dutifully sitting throughout this entire day listening to my colloquies on these plea agreements. You could probably recite it for me. But you heard your attorney state the terms of the plea agreement. You've signed the written plea agreement. Have you gone over it in detail? I assume you have, because I see your plea agreement is all marked up, which is, I know from practice, Mr. Gates' practice, as he goes through your plea agreement point by point. And so you feel like you understand the terms in the agreement. There's a lot of mumbo, a lot of legal stuff in here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Most important thing, big thing, is that you're waiving the right to trial, waiving a number of legal rights. But you're doing that in order to get a final resolution in this case that you believe is in the best interest here for the.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have had all your legal questions answered, and you believe it's in your best interest to enter into this plea agreement?
Absolutely, and Mr. Gates did a phenomenal job with my case. Mr. Lasco, the handsome and intelligent Mr. Lasco, drives a hard bargain.
Well, Mr. Halfaker, you're lucky, because the court would probably have driven a harder bargain.
Understood, sir.
With all due respect.
Duly noted, Your Honor.
That's a bad number. You need to look yourself in the mirror and figure out what that number means. 4 DUIs. That doesn't mean you've been behind the wheel 4 times intoxicated. That means you've been caught 4 times.
Absolutely.
I understand what that means. I understand the way it works. Okay. This is your opportunity to do something.
Yes.
It's not easy.
Yes, Your Honor.
You got to do it. You're going to be back here.
You won't see me again, Your Honor, or you can bury me under the prison.
You all appreciate the fact that you respect this court.
Yes, sir.
Dressed up nicely, and not that is the deciding factor, it's not, but it shows that you respect the system, and I appreciate that. But I'm here to tell you, this is something that you have to do for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
For you, because this is going to destroy your life, and it might affect somebody else's life. Because the one thing you do this one time, and somebody gets hurt or somebody dies, now you go away for life.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
and I have no intention of getting behind the wheel of a vehicle ever again. So.
Well, you know, it's a whole.
And I don't think I have the option based on.
It's a whole lot easier nowadays. Seriously, it's a whole lot easier nowadays with Uber. I mean, before, it was hard to move around this city without a car when 15 years ago. But now with Uber, and we never had taxi. I mean, you have a taxi from the airport. That's about the only place you can get a taxi in town. But Uber, you can get around, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, based upon all that, the court will accept your plea agreement. There'll be an adjudication of guilt. And as to count 1, the refusal, the court will sentence you to 11 months, 29 days probation. Count 2, you're sentenced to 36 months of probation. Now, these 2 probation will be concurrent, so it basically means that the 36 is will be the total number of months. Waive the cost of supervision. You're sentenced to 30 days DOC with credit for time served. Defendant will be able to serve the balance on weekends as arranged by probation, and with the court and not with the court, but defendant, parole, and probation. Court costs and fees, $2,000 fine, all those things are during the course of the probation. Permanent driver's license revocation. And you said you're not gonna have a vehicle, but it'll have an impound ignition interlock device. I don't know that matters much for the next 2 years if you've had your driver's license revoked. So that would probably not be important. And community service, DUI school, victim impact. And importantly, the substance abuse evaluation, and you might even look around a little more. Our substance abuse, with all due respect.
Yes, Your Honor.
You might, there are different options, different types of providers that offer these types of services. You may want to look at what serves your interests the best long term. Anyway, any
Thank you,
questions?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you do have 30 days to appeal this, even though it's just, you just entered into an agreement. But you do have 30 days to appeal.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Gates.
Yes, Your Honor. Next I've got is Jennifer Hennessy. Ms. Hennessy is 193 on the docket. That'll be followed by Gerardo Hernandez Soto.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Hennessy and I have talked about the state's amended offer. At this time, I'm going to move forward with the depositions that I've got scheduled or being scheduled in her case. If we could continue her case to the February 12th docket.
Stays okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last name.
Continue to 12.
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
February.
Oh, yes, that's fine.
Okay, court will continue till February 12th. Stay in good contact with your attorney, man.
Yes,
Your Honor, next I've got is going to be Gerardo Hernandez Soto, who is president. After that will be Celeste Johnson. Your Honor, if we could continue Mr. Hernandez Soto's case, the state and I have kind of kicked around a couple ideas. One of them being that he might be eligible for something in an inpatient program. I need him to take a look at that. And in the meantime, my intent is to go ahead and start working the case through discovery, which is depositions, so that if we can't get it resolved, we can look at a trial as soon as we can.
Very good. State okay, continue until 2/12?
That's fine, Judge.
Very good. 12th of February.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Stay in touch with your attorney.
Your Honor, next I've got is going to be Celeste Jones. After Johnson, after Ms. Johnson will be Derek Jones.
Hello.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Johnson is another one of those cases that I have depositions that are tentatively scheduled for either the 9th or the 11th of January. If we could continue her case till then, the February docket.
State?
That's fine, Judge.
Court will continue this till 2/12. Hopefully, discovery will advance and let me know where you're at that point.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, next I've got is Derek Jones. That'll be followed by Keandrick Jones. Yes, Your Honor. If I can approach with a plea agreement, Your Honor, it is 2-8 misdemeanor. Mr. There'll be no score sheet necessary.
Counsel, would you please announce the plea?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jones will be entering a plea no contest to the lesser included offense in count 1 in the information, possession of paraphernalia. Counts 2 and 3 will be as charged. Again, those are misdemeanors. Withhold of adjudication in all counts will be a year of probation concurrent, waive costs of supervision, $270 court costs, $150 defender fee, random year analysis, a substance abuse course which can be completed online within 30 days, 10 hours of community service work with a buyout option, maintain gainful employment or complete 3 job applications per week, and then an anti-theft course which can be completed online.
Mr. Jones, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
So is the state in agreement?
That's correct, Judge.
Mr. Jones, you heard your attorney state the terms of your plea agreement. It's also contained in your written plea agreement that you've signed. Have you read through this closely?
Yes.
And have you gone over it in detail with your attorney? Make sure you have all your legal questions answered.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's important because you're waiving a number of legal rights. Just want to make sure you're aware of that. The right to go to a trial, force the state to prove their case, confront witnesses, all those are being waived so you can have a final adjudication of this case. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe it's in your best interest to do so?
Yes.
Enter into this plea agreement here today?
Yes. Just for time purposes.
You're hesitating on it.
Well,
Do you have some issues with regard to the plea agreement you're uncomfortable with?
not really. That's I'm sorry.
Okay. You're hedging on it. Is that an issue?
I don't mean to be hesitant.
That's all right. I'm just trying to understand. Because the only reason I'm asking this question, two reasons. One, you gotta make sure you understand what you're doing. And two, you're doing it freely and voluntarily. When you hesitate, that's second prong, and you're doing it freely and voluntarily. I don't know, Mr. Gates might have twisted your arm here in the back room there, said something, mean to you, something to get you to enter into this thing.
No, sir.
Just want to make sure you're doing it of your own free will.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we do have the right to go to a trial and contest all this. You believe that you're kind of pushing that aside, waiving that, or we get to this point? You believe that's best?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Based upon that, I'll accept your plea. It'll be a withhold of adjudication. Count one will be the lesser included charge of possession of paraphernalia. The other two are as charged, possession of paraphernalia and petty theft. They're all three misdemeanor 1-year maximums. And on each of those three counts, the court sentencing the defendant to 11 months, 29 days of probation. They'll all be served concurrent, they'll all be served at the same time, so it's basically a year. Plus you got a number of the fees, random UAs, substance abuse course, community services, all the other things that are contained in the plea agreement must be accomplished during that year. Do you understand all that? Those are all conditions of the probation. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Good luck. Stay in touch with your probation officer.
Where do I find that out?
Right there.
You got our next subject is Kendrick Jones. After that will be Tyler Kendrick.
Give me 1 second.
Your Honor, we have a plea agreement to be filed in Mr. Kendrick Jones's case. It's actually going to be a plea to lesser included with a PTI requirement. He's signed the PTI. I've had the state sign the PTI. I've given him the original copy. I have copies for the clerk as well as everyone else. If I can approach, Your Honor.
You may.
It is going to be to a misdemeanor, so a score sheet will not be necessary.
Okay. And you've got the original PTI to give to the probation?
Yes, Your Honor. The state just signed it. I gave it to Mr. Jones and explained to him he needs to take it to probation. They'll sign it and they'll file that. We've already gone over the plea agreement.
Okay. Let me just ask you a few questions, Mr. Jones. If you raise your right hand. You swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is a little bit different deal. This is a pretrial intervention program. So if you complete this, you get your charges go away. That's very good. That's a real, that's a big plus.
Yes, sir.
But the tricky part of it, if you don't do the pretrial, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to, but if some you don't.
Yes, sir.
fool around, you don't get it done, you screw up.
Yes, sir.
Then we come right back to sentencing. It's kind of like an adjudication of like an admission.
Right.
And you go right to sentencing. There's no like, hey, now we gotta go to a trial. And go
Yes,
back square, you don't go back to square one. We're already 75% there,
Yes, sir.
okay? You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you believe that that's in your best interest to do this?
Yes,
Enter into this plea agreement, this kind of, I'm gonna call it a hybrid. It's a little bit of a combination of two things.
Yes, sir.
You believe that's in your best interest?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement as stated. And main thing is to stay in touch with probation and follow up on this.
Yes, sir.
This PPI, that's the most important thing. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Good luck.
And just so the record's clear, Your Honor, this is a plea to the lesser included offense battery and the information, so that would be what he'd be sentenced on the violation.
Thank you. Appreciate you clarifying that.
Your Honor, next I've got is Tyler Kendrick. After Mr. Kendrick will be Christopher Kistner. Now, this is Mr. Kendrick before the court. I'm going to ask the court to continue Mr. Kendrick's case. The state and I are kind of discussing the case, but the main component I'm missing here is an offer, and I think the state is trying to comply with Marcy's law before making any sort of offers in this case.
Okay. So you want to continue until February?
Yes, Your Honor.
State okay?
That's correct, Judge.
We'll continue until February 12th, 2024. Stay in touch with your attorney.
Your Honor, next I've got is Christopher Kistner. That'll be followed by Jordan Kimmel. And this is Mr. Kistner before the court. He and I discussed his case. I want to say at this point, if we can continue his case, he'll be another one that I schedule for depositions. He also would like to come to my office and review some of the discovery as well.
State.
That's fine, Judge.
Court will continue this matter until February 12th, 9.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I'll give you a call, sorry.
Your Honor, next I've got is Jordan Kimmel. After Mr. Kimmel will be Luke Kinsey.
Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. Anytime I see court security step up, I get a big concern.
You have good reason. Go ahead.
We do have a plea agreement to file with Mr. Kimmel's cases. It covers both cases before the court.
Why don't you show counsel what?
In one of these cases, he couldn't approve FTA because
Like 4 times on these cases. It's been a nightmare.
Can I see?
one is on the case we have right now.
What's the other?
Yes, Your Honor, I can attest to the court. I know Mr. Kimmel had been locked up on that because his girlfriend, wife contacted my office. Actually, one of the other attorneys was meeting with Mr. Kimmel at the jail and called me and said, hey, he was just picked up on an FTA. What's going on with this case? And that's how I became aware of it. And I reached out to the state. He and I had a conversation. I think the state had no objection to recalling the capias and or setting a signature bond. So I have no idea why these are still showing out in process. He has.
So there's 2 of them though. What is the other?
It's the misdemeanor, and I'm almost positive he's already been picked up on that, Your
That's
Honor.
what they locked me up that day. I was at court for that.
What's the state's position? Are you
Well, I don't know much about the misdemeanor, but if we pass this, I'd like to look into it, because I certainly, if he's already been served with those and picked up on
Why don't we
them.
do this? I'm not gonna, can we not serve these and come back on Monday and kind of figure out, or
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't,
I was gonna say, I know Madam Clerk kind of has probably looked at it already to give me an answer on some of it, so that's why I was.
What's that?
Did you see if anything had served on him?
This case for the misdemeanor was actually just recently issued on the 4th.
On December the 4th? Okay.
I was in court, when was that? Whenever I got locked up the last time, that was the misdemeanor case, they locked me up at court.
Let me take a look. I think if we can come back on Monday, that'll give us all time to make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah, I mean, I bonded out on it too, so that's what I don't understand.
Yes, Your Honor, and we do have a plea agreement. I don't think the state's gonna revoke that offer.
Okay, can I do that? Can I say that's not serve it? And we've got, in order to serve it, do I need to take some action in order not to serve? I don't want to get you all twisted.
You probably need to recall it, because if we have it, we have to serve it.
And that's
what I'm worried about.
Can we pass it till the end?
So he no-showed to a misdemeanor in Okaloosa County?
Yes.
Do you guys know?
Can we recall it and then advise him of when his court date is? I mean, that would require you recalling another judge's warrant. I'm not sure if that's.
It's done all the time, context.
Okay. The state wouldn't be opposed to recalling it.
And then what about the other one that Mr. Gates has put his personal reputation on the line and say that he was in jail on that day?
Oh, well, the state's position is, I mean, it's in this case, correct? The warrant stems from this case, so if he's
Okay,
playing.
So I'll withdraw that one. I'm going to withdraw both of them.
Right.
And then what is do we know when the next misdemeanor date would be? Okay, we'll get it.
Is that Madam Clerk? If she can.
January 8th.
What was that?
January 8th for Judge Docket date, because that's what he originally.
Write that down for him. January 8th. That's misdemeanor docket day. It's a different court.
Yes, sir.
And should we put because I think he's about to enter a plea, should we put in this plea agreement that we're not taking any action on the FTA that occurred in this case?
Sure.
We can go ahead and write that in there.
Sure, that's fine.
January the 8th?
May not always seem like it. We're not trying to just jam you just for the hell of it, you
And
know?
the whole thing about it, I was in court that day that I got the FTA. I even have the text on my phone showing that I checked into the clerk's office. It was a miscommunication on my part, and I left early that day, and I accept responsibility.
What night?
But I do have a warrant to serve.
We've got a lot of serious matters that we want to deal with. We're not trying to jam people. They're out in the hallway.
Because they said it was probably gonna change.
And I want to write in here, no action on FTA, Your Honor. An abundance of caution. If I may approach now, Your Honor.
You may. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Would you announce the plea, Mr. Gates?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Kimmel's going to actually be entering a plea to a lesser included offense in 23 CF 659, fetid theft, $100 or more, less than $750. In exchange for that plea, the state's actually going to dismiss 23 CF 715. He'll be adjudicated guilty, 11 months, 29 days of probation, waive the cost of supervision, 270 court costs, 150 public defender fee, reserve over any restitution to Lowe's, required to do the anti-theft course online, no trespassing at Lowe's at 774 Beale Parkway, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, 32547, and then I wrote the state's going to dismiss the other case.
I'm sorry, just let me check something really quick. What I'm checking is I think that the merchandise was recovered, so I don't think we have to reserve restitution. But I just want to be sure. The state's fine with it as written.
Okay. Mr. Kimmel, would you please raise your right hand so you swear or affirm the information you're about to provide this court is the truth, nothing but the true self you got?
Yes, sir.
So you heard your attorney state the terms of your agreement. Looks like you got you a good plea agreement.
Yes, sir.
And you signed at the end of the written plea agreement. Have you read this closely?
Yes, sir.
You've gone over it in detail with your attorney. Make sure you understand all the legal, you've heard me say it all day. Waive the right to go to trial, right to contest all this. You believe that's in your best interest to do so?
Yes, sir.
And you're comfortable with this plea agreement, that it's a fair agreement?
Yes, sir, I do.
Very good. Based upon that, the court will accept your plea agreement. There'll be an adjudication of guilt on the single count in 23-659, CF 659. The 23 CF 715 is being dismissed by the state, correct?
Right.
So court sentencing you to 11 months, 29 days probation, and all the fees and costs. Court will waive the cost of supervision, reserve over any restitution to Lowe's, anti-theft course, which can be done online, and no trespassing at Lowe's on Beale Parkway in Fort Walton Beach. And there'll be no action taken on the FTA. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Great, so Mr. Kimball, I'm gonna get your fingerprints.
Yes, sir.
Next I've got is going to be Luke Kimsey. That'll be followed by Cherry Sorrells.
Lindsay?
Kimsey.
Kimball.
Catching up on my notes here, Your Honor. At this time, if I can continue Mr. Kimsey's case, he and I are kind of trying to negotiate a little bit better plea agreement. If we can't, then I will look to schedule depositions and we'll go from there.
State okay?
That's fine, Judge.
Court will continue this matter till February 12th at 9 a.m.
Thank you. Your Honor, last I've got is going to be Cherie Sorrells. And if she reminds me, next cycle I will see if the court will let me do a reverse order on my docket instead of making them go last.
I agree. What's Sorrells?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Sorrells is before the court in 22 CF 3035, 23 CF 1404. The state and I had talked about a potential resolution in her case. Ms. Sorrells asked if we could have a little more time for me to meet with her and go over the plea agreement detail. If we can set her for the February 12th docket.
We'll continue till 2:12.
No objection, Your Honor. Mr. Gates and I did speak about that, and the state's parole offer will remain open to the next pretrial, and Mr. Gates can have one to speak with her about it.
Yes, Your Honor, and I just was informing Ms. Sorrells, she said her probation is terminated because it's past term. I want to make sure she continues to check in and go like she's supposed to. And that's all I have that's present today, Your Honor.
All right.
It's housekeeping at this point in time, Your Honor, for me, would the court want me to call people I've got waivers for, or would the court rather just call whoever's left?
Madam Clerk.
Madam Clerk?
I don't think we have any.
I mean, there are just people on the docket who haven't been called, and I know the ones I've got waivers for. The ones that were supposed to.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's do each here. Is that from this one? Whose case is that? Is that one of the?
I believe it's from the record.
It is, Your Honor.
She said she was here this morning, but I know you called for her.
Yeah, I remember an ET. Do you have an attorney, ma'am?
No, sir, I do not.
Hold on.
Okay.
Here, I got it. Why don't you have an attorney? Why do we not have an attorney? Were you going to try and get an attorney?
I was trying to hire a private attorney, sir, but I subsequently lost my job and have not been able to find new employment, so I haven't been able to afford one. So I would like to ask if the court would appoint a public defender.
Public defender.
Yes, please.
You got to fill out the form.
And the court will continue this until February 12th at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, what's the
The court will withdraw the capias.
case name?
You were about ready to get arrested for not showing up. It was at 9 o'clock this morning. Were you here?
I was here.
Oh, you were here? We called you.
E.T.
She was here this morning.
We called you.
Well, I guess I
That's
came
all
in
right.
about
It's all
10
right.
o'clock and asked him.
It's all right. A lot of people here.
So,
If you were here, I'll take a word for it.
and I spent all day here. So thank you very much, sir.
So, Your Honor, I'm giving her my card with my assistants, to set an appointment. But you need to fill this out, turn it in my first floor of the clerk's office before you leave today, okay?
Okay.
So that you can get approved for the public defender from the clerk. Well, go try it.
And I am sympathetic for people having to wait around all day in court. However, there's one way you can avoid that.
If I leave it early.
No, you cannot get arrested.
That's true. Thank you.
It's all housekeeping.
Okay. So, you all want to stand up and stretch for our little stretch run here today?
Oh, I've been standing. Some of them try to sit down and rest.
Oh, yeah.